It's Saturday morning, and we've been moving around all week. But you already know what we got to do. We got to break it down for you at the highest level. This is not one of those episodes where we want people who are not critical thinkers. For this episode, this is one of those teaching assignments that we do. I only want the best and the brightest. And it's not going to do with your intellect. It has to do with what you're willing to see and what you can absorb. Today is one of those days where we put a lot of things in perspective so that we can move forward, because training camp is coming up. And what I have to do is put things in perspective prior to training camp, so it frames things so you can understand the way you should be watching training camp. Because my sentiment is, if people have been for 7, 8, 10, 12, almost 2 years, been consistently painting, shifting, and just basically ignoring every single thing about the Cleveland Browns and what they've done, and ignoring whatever the case may be, whether it was the head coach hire, whether it's a quarterback competition, whether they believe that we got good enough players, whether they believe the owners, like, we have to do this in order for you to frame it so that when camp comes around, you can take it with a grain of salt and consideration and say, so this person is telling me this right now. Is there no consequences for what they've done or said the whole year? And it's not about acknowledging it. It's not about bowing down to it. It's not about wasting my time on it. What it is giving myself some closure, because I had to figure out what the heck is going on. Why are we in this different reality? And why did I wake up being in the industry? I woke up in the industry and looked around and felt like this was a cruel joke, and I was living in a different reality from the rest of the people who cover this team and cover sports in general. This is a critique on the way we've gone about our business and how you frame this moving forward. So if you're one of them people that can't think objectively, if you're one of them people that don't have no critical thinking, if you're one of them people that just want talking points, this ain't gonna be for you. It ain't. It ain't. This is not gonna be one of those episodes. But for those who want to be in the know, for those who understand and want to know how people weave and do these and bob and weave and do this stuff, this is a critique not only on sports media. This is a critique in culture in general. And the barbershop is about sports, music, and culture, which is a microcosm of everything you do in your regular life. So if you came over here to get surface level content, you could go get surface level content from about 97% of all content creators. Go get that surface level. Let them get up there on the microphone, no prep, no nothing. But if you want the real work, you want the fresh cut, and you ready to get going early in the morning, get your cup of coffee. We about to cook today, and we're going to do it barbershop style. You already know what it is. Get your coffee ready. It's one of them. You know what it means when I say it's one of them. Welcome on into the barbershop. Your boy G Bush. Comment, like, subscribe. What's up? We ready to go. We're ready to go today, and we're not going to play around with no pleasantries. We're going to get right off into the situation immediately. Let me take this. Matter of fact, let me take these down, because I need to take my comments down for a little bit, just so I got to get to this right here. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah. Man. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing the world you've been watching wasn't the whole truth. Every headline, every conversation, every opinion, every expert was shaping a vision or a version of reality for you. That's the premise behind the Truman Show. Doesn't know he's living inside a television production. He believes everything around him is completely authentic. But every conversation, every camera angle, every dramatic moment has been carefully selected to tell a story, not to tell you something about football coverage. And how has football coverage become the same way? Look at the Cleveland Browns and the Shedeur Sanders. I feel like I'm watching two completely different realities. Reality number one, People actually inside the Browns building, Andrew Berry compliments his development. Todd Monken praises his progress. Jimmy Haslam speaks positively about his future. And still, it's a completely different story by the media. Teammates continue talking about his preparation, leadership, and growth. And then there's the reality number 2. The daily debate shows, the clickbait headlines, the social media clips, the quarterback rankings, the declarations that he's already failed before training camps has even begun. So which version is closer to the truth? Today isn't about defending one player. It's about asking a bigger question. At what point does football coverage stop being about reporting what's happening and start becoming storytelling built around the strongest narrative? Let's talk about it. Now, as we get into what we want to talk about, and I talk about it all the time, storytelling is it's a very powerful thing. It's a very powerful thing. Heck, I even use it myself. But there's one thing that I came into this program, and I came into this program trying to figure out myself and trying to help myself wrap my mind around why is the coverage the way it is? Because honestly, doing this craft and doing this job, it's my job to analyze the industry. It's my job to figure out why and what certain trends are starting to happen and why is it in media. This is the thing that we continue to go across. Now, for you guys to understand the analogy of what we're talking about, I must introduce the exhibit that we will be comparing and contrasting, right? So first and foremost, the thing that hit me today like a ton of bricks as I was prepping for this show was this. There are things that have hit for the Cleveland Browns, whether it will be coach interviews, whether it will be player interviews, whether it's exclusive sit-downs with Todd Monken, whether it's archives about Todd Monken, whether it's different interviews with Mike Rutenberg, the new defensive coordinator, whether it's player interviews, whether it's things people have said on the record. And the thing that's been so alarming that we've talked about is as we get to the preseason and as we continue to get to training camp, I've noticed in my timeline, and I've noticed for me, there's certain articles and certain things that I've researched and looked at and dawned on me, nobody has spoken about this. Nobody has spoken about the stuff that's in plain sight right in front of your face. One of the big ones is this. When you talk about coaching and you talk about what Todd Monken is going to do or why you think that the Browns could be successful, or when you're breaking it down, you know for a fact that I break it down. I go back to his college tape. I go to the Ravens. I've shown you on this channel his offense with the Georgia Bulldogs. I've shown you his offense with the Baltimore Ravens. We've talked about shift. We talked about motion. We talked about what plays they're going to run. We talked about creativity in the run game. We've shown you all that. But we haven't even shown the regular stuff that's sitting in plain sight. I've had people tell me, now watch this. People will tell you, you know what, G. Bush? Todd Monken is he's a complete unknown. What do you think he's going to do? He's a first-time head coach. He's an unknown. You don't know what he's going to be able to do to develop. What do you think he's going to do? What offense are they going to run? Right? Guess what? It's even more scary than that. What if I told you Todd Monken already told you what his offense was? What if I told you Todd Monken has already told the Cleveland media what his offense will look like? What if I told you that Todd Monken has already been interviewed prior to any of this? Would you be surprised if I said Todd Monken was actually talking before to Mary Kay and Tony Grossi and all the other beat reporters? Would you be alarmed to know that, you know what? Come to find out, Todd Monken actually was here? See, that's the problem. Some people don't even know the man used to be a coach here.
I love
NFL game better?
No, I wouldn't say I like it better. I love coaching. I love the challenge of game day and doing it better than they do it. It's different. But your rewards you get in the NFL is different than the rewards you get in college. The winning is the same, but the developing of younger people and what you get out of college coaching will the same things that you get out of the reward you get is the same things that wear you out, just like your own children. The same things that you get the reward from your own children is the same thing that wears you out. So it's a little bit more difficult in that regard. But the rewards you get out of the NFL is doing it against the best in the world, and your margin for error is so much smaller.
What if I told you this is not Todd Monken after OTAs? What if I told you this isn't Todd Monken after he talked about the quarterback battle? This wasn't Todd Monken talking about drafting players this offseason in terms of figuring out if Ty Simpson or evaluating quarterbacks. No. What if I told you this was Todd Monken 6 to 7 years ago? 7 years ago. Same University Hospitals backdrop. Same Cleveland Browns. Only this time he was the offensive coordinator. The stuff is right in front of you. He has already been here. My question is this. If he's been a coordinator in the building, the same people who interviewed him 6 to 7 years ago will now turn around and they paint the picture that this guy, this is the first time we didn't seen him. This is the first time we've spoken to Todd Monken. Here's what what? He's already been here. Where is all of this mirage and smoke? Like, it's the mirage and smoke. Like, we don't know who Todd Monken is, and he's this great unknown. Bro, you asked him questions about if you want to know what his offense is, why don't you just go back to the archives and show it? See, this is the reason why I always be coming at people. People, oh, G-Bosh, you say show your work. This is the problem. Because this is the reason why people don't take calls on the radio no more. This is the exact reason. Because people don't want other people pointing out this character flaw. It's crazy work. You acting like you gonna use it as if it's a great unknown, so you can just paint a picture that nobody wanted to take this job. Watch this. They asked him the same thing about taking this job the last time.
With Mayfield, thinking on the passing game and how much of the quote-unquote air raid can be integrated into the NFL?
It's interesting when I went to Oklahoma State from Jacksonville, and it was the air raid, as we use our fingers to say that. But it's really what I took away from it was being able to throw to win. That really, to me, was the air raid. You had a certain amount of run game, ran a lot of the same concepts, and you could throw to win. That was really it. And like any offense, it works a lot better if you have good players. That's really what it's about. It's about having good players and doing things the right way consistently, so you do it better than they do it. It becomes a lot harder at the NFL level because you're going against the best in the world, and windows are tighter, and you're under duress a lot more, so you've got to be disciplined in terms of what you do on the perimeter.
What do you mean when you say throw to win? Explain that a little bit.
Well, I think balance is multiple skill players touching the football. To me, it's not always just run pass. It's, do you have enough skill players where they can touch the football? Last year at Tampa, we almost had 6 guys, if OJ doesn't get hurt, of 700 plus yards from line of scrimmage. Well, that to me, that's balance. Yeah.
So bear with me. Hey, listen, 776 people in here. Hit the hype button, hit the like button. We need this. People got to see this. So when we sit here as media members and we talk about what Todd Monken is going to do and what he's not going to do, why would we sit up here and make it up when all we would have to do is go back, do your research, dig up the archives, and he told you what his philosophy is right there. He said, balance to me is 6 to 7 guys touching the football. It don't necessarily have to be a run and pass look. It's how many guys, different versatile pieces and parts, can we get the football to and be versatile in a way with good playmakers to make plays? If you would have listened to this, you would have known that it was a chance that the Cleveland Browns were going to take 2 receivers. You would have known that Harold Fanning Jr. is going to be a big part of what they do. You will already kind of see the way his philosophy is when it comes to the way he thinks about that throwing the football. But it's never mentioned. 75, I don't know, maybe it's me. I haven't heard anybody bring this up. I haven't heard nobody do no 15-minute breakdown, not a 5-minute mention, nothing. But the thing is, ask yourself a question. Why wouldn't you be giving the people this over the other troll stuff? We'll get to the troll stuff in a minute, but I got to just show you. Let me know, because this is readily available to everybody in their mind. It's readily available. Ask yourself, as the people out there sitting here digesting this, why not?
You have a number of guys that can hurt you from a matchup standpoint. Is running the football important? Sure, because in order to win, you've got to be explosive and not turn the ball over. How do you become explosive space players and throwing it over their head or throwing intermediate pockets, and running the football adds to that.
Air quotes, but how much of that air raid systems from colleges have you seen in the NFL over the last couple of years, kind of the integration of some of those college parts of
Well, I think everything gets clumped into air raid, just like a lot of years it got clumped into West Coast offense, if that makes sense. Oh, it's a West Coast offense. Well, what does that mean? Maybe by verbiage, but not by concepts.
This man, this is what I'm talking about. He's even telling you about cliches. The thing I hate the most about being in this industry is the cliches where you just throw random words out. Air raid, RPO, West Coast offense. There's no foundation and principles behind it. You just throw it out there and it's a generalization. He's telling you right now, that's not the way it works. We install packages and we install concepts. See, the misconception about football is a sport everybody can understand and be entertained by. Football, knowing it at a certain level, involves immersion, study, and having an intellect to understand broad concepts as well as fixed concepts. So Todd Monken always been telling you from a very long time, this 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, what his philosophy is. He did it in Cleveland. He was here in Cleveland. Oh, and by the way, when he was here, his offenses were better than Kevin Stefanski's. Now, did he call the plays? Absolutely not. Freddie Kitchens did. But in terms of the concepts, the install, the coaching at the micro level, all of that goes right under his resume. But we don't reference it.
Or how they go about attacking people. So I think when you look at what teams are doing now, if you said, do I see the college game influence in the NFL? Without a doubt. You see that with probably the team you see it most with is Kansas City. Kansas City's run game is, I wouldn't say exclusively, but a high number of RPOs or ways to get it out of that young man's hands, and he's good at it. And they've got good skill guys around him. So if you wanted to match up what some college football teams look like, you'd probably say Kansas City. There's some other teams, and you could take the Eagles and the Colts, where you're talking about RPOs and different ways for run-pass options, which has, been prevalent in college, which the rules are a little more advantageous in college in terms of linemen being downfield and blocking downfield, which enables you to do a little bit things more in the screen game and throwing on the perimeter. But, in a lot of ways you have to be committed to it. You have to look at those plays as one play. I think people get caught up in that's why when I talked about balance is if you have a run play with an RPO built in it, that's a play. That's not run pass. The efficiency of that play is what matters, not who touched it. And sometimes we get way caught up in run yards, pass yards. It's efficiency of what you do, being explosive, not turning it over, scoring touchdowns. That's really what it's about.
Now, as you can see, He didn't come up there talking about no EPA. Everybody talking about these stats. Well, this man is rattling them off to you. He just gave his philosophy on run pass. He gave his philosophy on spreading the football around. He gave his philosophy on certain concepts in which things translate from the college game to the NFL game. He gave you all this 6-7 years ago. My question is, why are the people not being educated about it? Why are we acting like Todd Monken is not been here before? It goes to the greater point. They don't care about that. See, at one point in time, news used to be about news, and news used to be about facts, and facts used to be things we all agree on. But today, that's not it. They actually don't care what Todd Monken's offense is. They actually don't care if the Browns really win like that. They care about the story. The story has become everything. If you want to know how Todd Monken works with young quarterbacks, I think it's a novel thing. He has a young quarterback in Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel and Taylor Green. He's running a quarterback competition this year. Wouldn't you want to know how he really coaches up young quarterbacks? Well, turns out he was the offensive coordinator for Baker Mayfield in his second year. In this next clip is from him talking about the things he goes through with his quarterbacks when they're struggling in the game. This is him talking about the Browns offense struggling a little bit, reads and everything. I think this would be quite relevant in the way he goes about his business, because it gives the people a little bit of a foreshadowing of how he'll handle questions during ups, downs, adversity. But I think it's funny because some of the same people that are asking these questions are the same people here today asking the same questions, and you don't learn nothing. Continue. I'm just telling you.
I mean, you don't even give yourself bad football loses before good football wins. I mean, you don't even give yourself a chance. So let's just start with that, okay? So we start off the game, we get a good field position, we get a nice play to start it. On the very next play, we have a drop and a mental error by our right tackle not going out, and then we immediately have a false start. So you're on the road with an opportunity to really take the crowd out of it and get a fast start. And we do some things that we've unfortunately done too often, and that is shoot ourselves in the foot with not doing it better than they do it. And that's the start of it.
Baker was so successful last year. I know it's a different team, different season and all that. But is your observation, being a first-time look at him as a coach, does he get overly excited inside the red zone? Passes, too much velocity, frantic decisions, skittishness?
Again, my sample size is small. I don't see that in practice. So there's a number of I didn't think, like take for instance the other night, the throw to Antonio. Now I know he threw it on time. It was a pretty quick throw, but I didn't see that. He was pretty, in my mind, decisive in where he was going with the ball. He saw it clean, threw it. We didn't execute the play. I mean, for God's sakes. I mean, it's catastrophic. I mean,
See what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I believe that the game that they're talking about, because I watched this game, I believe, was the San Francisco 49ers game. It was a nationally televised game. We were at San Francisco, and I think on one of the first two plays, it was a tip interception because Antonio Callaway didn't catch the ball. This is very pertinent because it shows his demeanor and the way he goes about his business. It shows the way that he thinks about the game and how he coaches his players. It also shows you that he's a person that's not going to sugarcoat nothing for nobody. He gonna keep it. He gonna make you accountable. That's right, Crow Dog. You got to be accountable. My problem is, let me understand something, chat. I got to understand it. Where's this commentary at? Some people don't even know this man was even a coordinator in Cleveland before. If you listen to some of these same reporters, they'll act like they never met Todd Monken a day in their life.
It completely changed the game. As average as we played up to that point, it's changed. I mean, it just, and that's, from then it was not fun. But at that point, we were okay. I mean, we were still finding our way, but we just didn't execute. So to say that in a small sample size, again, there's a lot of things that go into it. It really is. Not just him. I mean, it's just all of us. And again, what can make a QB that way? Scheme. What can make a QB that way? Protection. What can make a QB that route running? All of the above. It's not just one thing. Call it what you will. We just we got to do it better. I mean, obviously, from a understanding of what's expected of them, some of it is in terms of just mental lapses. Some of it is just discipline, mental discipline, in terms of pre-snap penalties. That is going to bite you in the rear end, and some of it is we got to coach it better. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, there is no dodging this. I mean, it's we got to do it better.
When you guys talk about
Now, here's the progression. That was the level of urgency when he was an offensive coordinator. Here's this level of urgency when this man became the head coach. Here's the progression. Calm, cool, collected. Now he senses his opportunity. Tell me if you see a difference in the way he's talking.
As much as I love winning and I hate losing, I despise football. Like, absolutely despise that it doesn't look like you want it to look like. Like, where it's just like you got 10 on the field, you got 12, you're up against the clock, you don't have the effort that you look for. It doesn't even look like you've practiced. Sorry, you can bleep that out.
Please,
but it's
yep.
like,
No, we're good here.
but it's like, there's nothing worse than that, than having it, because it's a reflection of you. When Jimmy and Dee sign my check with my name on it, sign a check with my name on it, they expect a kick-ass football team. And my job is to prove them right every day. I mean, that's when I got paid at the last place I was at, and they expected a kick-ass offense. And that was my job to try and prove that every day. That's what a player's job is. When they sign a check with their name on it, it's their job to prove it every day, just like all of us. That's our job.
Do you see the progression? All that filibustering, all of that, well, listen, we got to do it better. You know what that looked like? That was a person understanding that their time is now. Go back and look at my podcast 6 years ago. The way I kick it right now is completely different from the way I kick it before. And let me tell you something. The reason why I kick it the way I kick it now is because I got a level of urgency. I'm here to do a job. I done spent 20 years grinding. I done spent the 20 grinding. My thing is this. I was grinding when you was comfortable. I was working weekends when you was comfortable. I was working, answering phones when you was comfortable. 20 years. Birthdays, Christmas, holiday, Thanksgiving. I was comfortable. Y'all can't, you know how many birthdays I missed? You know how many relationships that was ago? You know how many times somebody wanted me to come somewhere and I said, listen, I got to go. I got to be up here at 5. I got to be doing this. I got to be answering phones. I got to be putting stages up as an intern. That's the difference between what Todd Monken was saying when he was coordinator and the urgency that he got now. Because what happened during them 6 years? He was overlooked, marginalized, thought he might not even get there. So that energy level that he put out there right now, excuse his French, was about that urgency. It's the same reason I got a level of urgency. I don't care if I make you uncomfortable. You think G. Bush's job is to make you comfortable? What kind of way y'all think this is? Let me tell y'all this, this is once and for all. If you're a person that gets behind this microphone, and I'm not talking to one person, I'm talking to all of y'all. Every single person, if it applies. If it don't, go about your day. I'm telling you all of this, it applies. If you get behind this microphone, you accept what comes with it. You accept that people are going to troll you. You accept people might not agree with you. You accept people might say crazy stuff. You accept everybody ain't going to like you. You accept everything that comes with it. But if you really built for it, you won't see it. And even if you see it, it ain't going to stop you. So listen up. G. Bush's job not to make you feel comfortable. And that goes for nobody in the game. It ain't my job to go in and push my button and say, well, maybe, I don't know if this take is going to ruffle. Who ruffle what? Stand on business. If you believe what you believe and you got enough chest to say it in public, be willing to accept what come with the pushback. But it's a lot of y'all that's saying, I don't be looking, I don't even be mad. You be mad, you be big mad. That's the problem. Stop acting like you G'd up. When you get behind this microphone, you listen, it's what comes with the game. Stop crying. Stop. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you might need a new line of work. Let me give you an example. If you want to, everybody talk about they want to get to, and just let me give you an example. Everybody want to get to, well, I want money Stephen A. make. I want money that Skip Bayless make. I want the big money like Pat McAfee make. No, you don't. You ain't getting that off. You know why? Because you too soft. You think Stephen A. Smith, if you mention his name, half the people gonna say, I can't stand that dude. You think these people ain't lightning rods? Colin Cowherd? But you know what I can respect about them? They don't stop. And they don't be crying. They turn the microphone on and get right back to it. That's the difference. Guys out here playing, I'm gonna make you nobody comfortable. You done lost your mind. Stop. You're lucky I made you comfortable the 20 years prior to this. You done got out of shape. Your mental game, everybody running around. And first of all, ain't nobody talking about you anyway. People be really thinking they be moving the needle like that. No, listen, I tell everybody, cultivate your people, cultivate a channel, your fan base, and talk to them. Whoever don't mess with it, they don't mess with it. Let's keep it pushing. That PSA was sponsored by Fresh Fades by G. Bush. Playing around with me. You think I'm coming on here thinking about what you talking about. You ain't even on the radio right now. You're not doing no podcast right now. How dare, no. I wake up every single week, 9 o'clock. Y'all out here golfing, playing games, going on vacation. I got 10 shows. You think I'm planning my shows around feelings? Get out of here and play them games. Hey, it's a new day. Let's keep it pushing. Here's the thing I'll be talking about. All of this energy, and it's right in front of you. It's right on front of you. The team been making moves. How come I ain't seen it? I don't know what's going on with the new head coach. I don't know what's going on with the new head coach. And what about this coordinator? Myles Garrett is gone. What about the coordinator? Well, okay, here we go. You want to know about the coordinator? Why ain't nobody picked this up?
Getting the call from Todd Monken is one of the great calls I'll remember in my life. It's time to go because you're going to do it for them. You're going to do it for Todd Monken. You're going to do it for Andrew Berry. You're going to do it for my brother Ulbrich. And I keep going. You're going to do it for Saleh, for my best friend since, for my best friend for 6th grade, for my wife. Because that's why we do it. We do it for the people we love. He just means so much to me as a person. His family means so much to me as a person. He's an incredible human being who's been through a lot on and off the field, who's found a way to have success on and off the field. And in the end, it goes back to, I'm always on repeat. You find out each other's why, and we connected on each other's why. I wish all the fans could see my first FaceTime with him. All I wanted to do was just get around him and be with him because he was so genuinely excited. We're on the field, and I just hear, no, that ain't the standard. That ain't the standard. I turn back and it's Jared Verse. But to feel his energy and to already witness his leadership is going to be awesome for our defense, along with the other great people and players we have.
We sat up here. We're Who's Mike Rutenberg? Who's Mike Rutenberg? I don't know. I don't know what his philosophy is. This man is sitting up here telling you, I do it for the people. I'm doing it for my people. You notice one thing, too. You notice something. They believe in a level of accountability, and I see why they picked you as a defensive coordinator. He said, man, Todd Monken gave me opportunity, man. I'm doing it for that. My wife, Todd Monken said, listen, when D and Jimmy Haslam signed my checks, they want a kick-ass football team. You see the levels to it? You see the difference? When Jimmy Haslam came in and said 5 wins wasn't good enough, and everybody in the media turned around and laughed, oh my gosh, he seems so delusional. The Browns are getting more than 5 wins. You know, Todd Monken took that as a directive. So all this stuff about tanking, what sounds about, let me just give you this. I want you guys to understand what sounds like tanking. Huh? Does this sound like the man is talking about tanking?
As much as I love winning and I hate losing, I despise football. Like, absolutely despise that it doesn't look like you want it to look like. Like, where it's just like you got 10 on the field, you got 12, you're up against the clock. You don't have the effort that you look for. It doesn't even look like you've practiced. You know, sorry, you can bleep that out. But it's like,
no, we're good here.
But it's like, there's nothing worse than that, than having it, because it's a reflection of you. When Jimmy and D sign up, you know, sign my check with my name on it, sign a check with my name on it, they expect a kick-ass football team. And my job is to prove them right every day. I mean, that's when I got paid at the last place I was at, and they expected a kick-ass offense. And that was my job to try and prove that every day. That's what a player's job is. When they sign a check with their name on it, it's their job to prove it every day, just like all of us. That's our job.
That sound like tanking? That sound like tanking? It seems like they take it a little serious over here. Let's look at the players. You know, Mike Rutenberg talked about Quincy Williams, right? Let's see what he's about. I think the Cleveland Browns, we talk about Devin Bush. Let's talk about the guy that's going to replace him, Quincy Williams. It seemed like that don't get nothing done. This article, this clip is out here. Quincy, tell us your mentality. Tell us your mentality that everybody got on defense. Maybe somebody need to educate them.
Positive does. The way I talk is, if you show up, but deposits do every day. You either getting paid or you owe somebody. That's how I talk. So my job, we gonna get paid every single day. If you out there on the field with me, you getting paid or you getting your ass off. So Rudy know that, and so that's why he brought me here, because he ain't got to be in the huddle and he ain't got to be on the field. He know for a fact what it's gonna look like out there, and there's gonna be speed, and violence, and that's how I want my defense.
You see why you say, dang, G. Bush woke up on one today. Nah, because they playing in your face. I'm too old for the play stuff. I ain't got time to be, I got to get to something, bro. I'm 44 years old. Half my life has been already spent, just like yours. If you're in the 40s, you got more days behind you than you got before you. And I don't got no time to keep playing with people. And these dudes that's playing, putting in his work, ain't got no time to keep playing. You think he talking about tanking? You think that man is talking about, he said, bro, you either owe me a deposit, you either gonna pay me or I owe you. He ain't gotta be in the huddle. You already know, if you come on field with me, you gotta get your ass off if you ain't doing nothing. Does this sound like these dudes is talking about the quarterback in 2027 and tanking in the dome? And what reality are we living in, people? Keep talking. I'm gonna just keep showing you. I'm gonna just keep showing you what it is.
The one thing about coaching and this part of your early part of your career when you're learning how to do it is the thing that people might not realize is the grind and the hours. And at New Mexico State, you are not making a lot. And in some cases, you are working 112 hours a week to be able to do what you love. but you are all in on coaching. You wanted to do this. This was your passion. This is what you wanted your profession to be. Just take me back to those years and your belief, I am going to make this work regardless of the stuff that comes my way.
Well, unfortunately, Ari, we all still work those hours. Okay. So nothing's changed really from there. I can't sit there and tell you that I just said, this is going to work. Nothing's going to get in my way. This is what I wanted to do. All I knew was to work my freaking butt off and do the best possible job I could. I'm sure at that time I had ambitions and hadn't quite learned to figure out exactly just to put my feet where they are. But, you know, I grew up with a dad who taught me to be a drill bit. And he said, whatever comes your way, just drill bit, man. Have a steel chin and keep going. And that's what I did. I didn't have dreams at that time of coaching in the NFL. I just had dreams of coaching. And I just kept working and working. And along that time with Dwayne, I learned how if you can be a step ahead of your boss or 2 or 3 steps ahead, it's not just coaching, it's life. It's parenting, it's whatever job you're in. And if you can add value to the people you work with and work for, then you'll have a chance to be employed. And that is what I did along the way with Dwayne. I don't think I had any secret potion. I just worked my ass off and tried to add value. And he helped me along the way and gave me feedback. A lot of it, tough ass love. But a lot of it that I still use today. And he still gives me that tough ass love.
Maybe the reason that I resonate so much with the football talk because I grew up and it's about football. I didn't get in this game to rub elbows and talk with people. I got in this game because I like football. I love sports. I played 3 sports in high school. I played in college. Everybody in my circle, everybody, my mom, my dad, we're a football family. But what I respect the most and what kind of gets on my nerves a little bit is that this game that we talk about with covering sports talk, it is so watered down to a point now that they can't even give you the interviews. They can't even give you, where was this at? It's important because when you watch guys coach, he said something, understand what I said. The theme that I've been talking about the entire time is show your work. That don't necessarily mean receipts for you surface level people. Show your work is, here's what I've done. And even if I've made it to this point, here's what I continue to do. You're noticing that clip. I don't play y'all nothing. I don't play nothing happenstance. If it's in my rundown, if it's in my show, it plays a role moving forward. It plays a role in the theme. He said, listen, ironic part about it is, when you take a look at what the hours were when I wasn't getting paid no money and doing nothing, it's still the hours today. See, life is all about delayed success and delayed consequences. If you want to eat birthday cake and eat crazy, you're not going to get fat in one day. Man, you know, I might get fat in 2 weeks. But it's going to come a point in time, your body says, it's the point of no return. If you don't get outside and go do something and stop eating this junk food, we about to put on 5 pounds tomorrow. I'm letting you know that right now. So you got a decision to make. You don't start just taking L's today. You start taking L's weeks, months. It starts with a little concession. It starts with a couple shortcuts. It starts with you rationalizing a little bit. It starts with you, it isn't that bad. Everybody does it. And then all of a sudden you wake up and you look around and you're in debt. Maybe your health ain't so good. Maybe your relationships ain't the way they used to be. And then you get mad at yourself saying, how did I let myself go? No, you didn't let yourself go. You stopped pulling the rope 1 inch at a time. You start waking up 4 minutes later every time. So when I talk about the work, the foundation of what football is doing the work, putting money in the bank, so on Sunday, you can make a withdrawal. Everybody loves withdrawals. Everybody loves to go to that ATM. Everybody want that credit card to have all that room on it. But don't nobody want to pay the bill. Don't nobody want to go to the bank and drop 30% of your check in there and just let it post up. Trust me, it's hard enough to do me because I always see something I want. If there's one thing between me and Rosie, she an accountant, I'm a person that say I'm living once. It's a give and take. But the thing about it is, if you want to get something great, if you want something big, it's a difference between saying, I want to go on vacation or I want to do a home renovation. Home renovation is a little more, it's going to take a lot of deposits, a whole lot of deposits. And those deposits take time, energy, effort, and dedication. But to win, to make withdrawals on Sunday, when it's in crunch time, when you need a play, when you're tired, when you don't want to get up, when you don't think you got nothing in the tank and you still keep going, that's where your withdrawals come from. Again, show your work. Let's talk about it. You want to continue to show the work? I got you. I got you. Let's talk. Let's show you this work. I can't believe that we're at a place where the people that's supposed to be delivering this information to you have gotten to the point where we're trolling hard work. We're trolling hard work now.
There you go. Drop. There you go. Now. Get your hips lower. You high as a bitch. Drop. There you go. Now. There you go. Push. Now. Drop. There you go. Now. There you go. Drop. Now. There you go. Now. There you go. Drop him. Drop. Now. Rock him. That ain't it, Q. When you come out, open this way and run now.
Show your work. You see, ain't nobody around nothing. You seen where any sugarcoating has happened? I done gave you Todd Monken. He ain't gonna play with you. I gave you Mike Rutenberg. He not playing with you. And now I'm giving you Quinshon Judkins. And yeah, Quinshon Judkins, I can't believe it too. Every time I go on these shows and go places, everybody is starting to slowly downgrade cats. How you gonna say Quinshon Judkins wasn't good last year? How you gonna say, this is the crazy work. This be happening because people start just slowly but surely start throwing stuff out there. Oh, he was just average last year. He was just, bro, you serious? This man had one of the worst offensive lines of all time. One of the worst offensive lines of all time. His average yard being hit in the backfield was the lowest out of all qualifying running backs. Which means he's getting hit within 1 to 2 yards of him getting the ball. But also, he also leads what some of the top backs and making people miss and breaking tackles. So think about that. He getting hit in the backfield, but he also is one of the people in the league that make people miss and can get it done. And he out here putting that work in. My question to y'all is this. Since when has it become cool to troll work? Since when did it become cool that the players is showing you what they're doing, getting people excited for the season, yet and still, you say, oh, this don't mean nothing. This is what they're supposed to be doing. It don't mean nothing. But let them be in a club somewhere. Let them get a traffic ticket somewhere. Let them show up to something late. Let somebody say they have some allegations. Let somebody say you was looking at somebody differently. You had a Twitter argument. Y'all will cover that like it's the next thing smoking. Biggest story in the world. You ain't covering this.
Get them on the floor. Get there. Open up. Now. You open that shoulder. Now. Rock him. Good shit. Now. Good shit. There you go. Rock him. Slide. There you go. Drop him. Push out. Look out, Q. Q. When we push, just drop. Slide. Push. Open up. Rock him. Now. Push out. There you go. Good. Now. There you go. Q, that shit wasn't it. You got another one. Hey, that shit got to be way more smooth than that on that get over.
Bring it back. Bring it back. See, that's what I like. I like some good coaching. There you go. Nah, that wasn't no good rep. Bring that back. No. Bring that back. We got to show them the work. The reason why this is important to show them the work is so you know when you're a Cleveland Browns fan, who you gonna go watch. Listen, I know Quinshon Judkins was working on that in the offseason. You see that jump cut? You see how his balance is? You see his visibility? You see his vision? You see his center of gravity? You got to show the folks this. So now when they watching the game, they watching it. They watching it with an eye on it. They watching it like, yeah, I know, man. Look, shoot. My job is to come in here and educate y'all on what's going on in these streets, how people moving. With Quinshon. So when people tell you Quinshon Judkins ain't cooking, you know they ain't been watching nothing. Y'all too busy talking with TMZ. You're too busy on the Shade Room. You're too busy on Gossip. You're watching The Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, All My Children, Guiding Light, and a reboot of Dallas and Dynasty. You even watching Passions. Don't tell me how I knew how. I know. Yeah, that was my Victor Newman scheme. Shout out to Ridge. Don't let him tell her the work ain't being done.
Well, shit, nigga, adjust to your terrain. You gotta adjust to your terrain, nigga. Come on. Make it smooth now. There you go. Now. There you go. Right, left now. No right, left coming right here. Look. Ski here. Then. You know what I'm saying? Get over there. Now. There you go. Walk him. Now. Now. Walk him. Now. Walk him. What's on? Now. Walk him.
It's that work. It's that work. It's that work. Who else putting work in out here? Who else is putting work in it? Oh, nephew, what's up? Nephew, what's good? He locked in. Fake toss. Let's get over there. Turn the hips, throw. What else we doing? Run that again. Fake toss. That was the stretch motion. And we're going to put the ball out there for the stretch. Let's go. What else we doing? Out here looking lean. Stretch. Get your eyes around. Still throwing out here. Boy. Now run that back. Shedeur out here looking like he done lost about 15 pounds. Focused. Don't hey, Shedeur said, shirtless Shedeur? Shirtless Shedeur might be different. Shirtless Shedeur. He like, The next time Usher and Chris Brown come to the concert, they better have a 2 jersey on. He thought, hey, the next time you come up here, you gonna have that 2 jersey on, right? Give me another ball. You better get that custom 2 jersey. It's that work. I'm just playing. Shout out to Usher. I just play. That's just play. I just play. Y'all funny. But let me ask y'all a question. Real quick though. Why? When did trolling become?
Our laurels, Kenny. Based on social media, our quarterbacks are #grinding. And I love to see it. And it tells me that we could be in for a big year because I'm seeing some workout videos. I saw one where Shedeur Sanders was closing his eyes and throwing passes. I mean, chucking passes, eyes closed. Like, this is stuff I'd never seen before. And he had never seen him either because his eyes were closed. Apparently, then Deshaun Watson and Concepcion, and he was just throwing darts. And I know Mary Kay said the shoulder was an issue. I saw no evidence on this one throw that they showed that loops, because when you're on social media, it just loops. Just one throw, and you're like, did I see 8 throws? No, it's just one throw. But then I saw Shedeur Sanders, and it was like dinner time, 4th workout of the day. I'm like, 4 workouts? Man, Josh Allen, I don't see any evidence that he even has had 1 workout. And our quarterback has 4. And then, is there even more after that? Is there 5 and 6? Like, these guys, they are on the grind. They are on the hustle. And I'm telling you, I just think this is setting up. Todd Monken has clearly planted that seed that you guys, gentlemen, are in a competition. Get out there, close your eyes, throw some passes, workout, hustle, workout, grind, workout, lunch, workout, dinner, workout.
None of this is real.
Go to the D3 schools, work out some more. Have Jim Tressel come and hang out.
What's the matter with the D3 school going to work out? It's right down the street.
I saw them both of them.
On the same field?
On the same field. Are they together?
I didn't know they were on the same field.
Now, is it at the same time, or is it your turn and your camera crew, and then we'll reserve later on my turn?
This is that's the radio home of the Browns, bro. If you want to watch the Cleveland Browns and you on the road, you got to listen to 92.3. Partners. When did people start trolling hard work? When did that happen? When did, let me take this down real quick. LVR Mr. Downtown said, damn, these people are hitting new levels of corny. It's hard to hate on hardworking players, but they'll find a way even if it makes no sense. This is where we're going. I knew it took us a while to get to where we were going, but sometimes it would be funny if it wasn't so devastating. Because what? When did making fun of people working hard become a thing? That's not entertainment. What are we doing? What are we doing? Don't worry. Don't worry. Listen, we got some things to talk about. I'm just setting it up. Rosie. I know I'm going to get there. Let's talk. Now, this is the point we come to. When you sitting here, 1,455 people in here, hit the like button, hit that hype button. It's all good to be, trolling from time to time. Hey, everybody does it. But the dangerous part about it, is when you do it and the whole game, the whole industry is doing it, you start to have a problem. And my problem is this. It's hard for me to sit here and talk about getting ready for this football season when from the time that I'm last year to now, people have literally made up anything they want. And I can't really wrap my head around it. I can't wrap my head around people that just made up. I mean, from the people that's talking about drafting Ty Simpson at 6. I just cannot wrap my head around it. And I had to start to say, hold on, man. So you meaning to tell me you can say all of that for a whole year, and then when the season start, I got to turn around and listen to you and to ask you what you think about now? I can't. Listen, I just can't. I just because everything that you said is nonsense. Nonsensical. And you sold it to these folks. You sold it to these people. You sold the speeding tickets. You sold Monken's getting fired in 2 weeks. You sold the erroneous Shedor's getting traded. You sold all of it. You sold everything. And not one quarterback piece of information that anybody said came true. Not one. Not one. It's not about Shedeur Sanders. This is about the game. And today, I'm going to show you why the game is the game and how dangerous it is. But first, let's take a look at this to set this up. Notice when all of this stuff went awry, watch the switch.
Sanders. There's been some things circulating out there that the Cleveland Browns could be moving on from their second-year quarterback. That we all know that they're going to be looking for a quarterback in the 27 draft. They have a lot of ammo. In the future, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns is not currently on the roster. We'll see. Because right now, he's making up ground. He has closed the gap. I would say Deshaun Watson in the spring, to my understanding, was probably in the lead. And there's a lot of people that think they're going to start the season with Deshaun Watson over Shedeur Sanders because it's easier to go from Deshaun to Shedeur as opposed to the other way around. I think there are plenty of people that think if it's close, you go with the guy who's when he's on his game. We know that there were question marks, obviously, about him coming in, which is why he was a fifth-round pick. But he had.
So let's start with the premise. To set up my analogy, I would like to bring up The Truman Show. If you have not watched The Truman Show or know what it's about, for you to get this analogy, I'll get it together for you. Let's talk about it. All right, let me see. I'm going to read this off to you so you guys can understand what we're talking about. So, The Truman Show concept and plot explained. The Truman Show is a 1998 film starring Jim Carrey as Truman Burbank, a man who doesn't know his entire life is a reality show being broadcast 24/7 to a global audience. Here's the concept. Burbank was adopted as a baby by the creator and executive producer of the show, Christoph. Truman's hometown, Sea Haven, isn't real. It's a massive soundstage. Everyone in his life, family, friends, co-workers, and even strangers are actors. His life is carefully scripted and controlled while millions of people watch his every move, right? We accept the reality of the world which is presented to us. That is what Christoph says. Truman lives a charmed, simple life in Sea Haven, unaware of the lies around him. As he grows, Truman begins to notice strange events and inconsistencies. He becomes determined to discover the truth and escape the island. Truman escapes are always thwarted by production teams who control every detail. In the end, Truman finds the edge of the fake world in a giant wall painted like the sky. He continues to leave behind the only world he has ever known for the real freedom. The themes are truth versus illusion, a story about awakening to the truth. A world is built on lies. Control and manipulation explores how media, power, and entertainment can control your lives. Freedom of choice. Truman's journey is about breaking free and choosing his own path. The nature of reality TV, a satirical look at how audience consume and profit from watching other lives. Now that you understand the concept, you understand what the Truman Show is about. I make my thesis. I make my analysis. For all those that don't want to be a thinking people, it's time for you to move on. I'm gonna give y'all about 30 seconds to leave the building because talking points right here won't work well for you. It's too curated. It's too pinpoint. So I'm gonna let all the ones that 1,500. I might lose a couple people on this one, but we're gonna talk. Okay, you've been warned. Let's get it. Let's take a look at this analogy. Let's take a look at it. Where we at? Truman thought he was living a real life, but it was on a set. This is a metaphor, not a real life comparison. Ask yourself, are we evaluating football or reacting to a storyline? In sports media, we often consume a version of reality shaped to tell a story. Let me move this out here. Where we at? Let me take this down. Yeah. Sports media, their whole job is not to inform. It is now to entertain. Strong narratives naturally get repeated because they're memorable and drive discussion. The louder the story, the further it travels. Reality happens on the football field, right? Remember, let's take a look at this. There's two versions that we talk about. We eloquently pointed those out. Inside Berea, what Andrew Berry talks about. He can say Shedeur Sanders or a bunch of their players. They don't even, by the way, this is not a Shedeur Sanders critique. It goes to Quinshon Judkins. We'll downplay, he was good last year. Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion, listen, they're rookies. We'll figure out about them. Offensive line was upgraded. Spinning on Spencer Fine, he's a rookie. We'll see what happens. What about, Zion Johnson? I don't know about them. A lot of guys, they spend some money. I don't think the offensive line that good. Okay. What about Carson Sweatshire? Well, you see how this works? Well, they still got Denzel out of trade Denzel work. There are two versions of what we are living is the reality in Berea and outside Berea. Andrew Berry said he's shown real growth and continues to prove. Shedeur Sanders with Todd Monken says he's executing better every single day. Jimmy Haslam, he brings in where he's heading and he's in a building working every day. His teammate, hard worker, great leader, always locked in. Practice observations, competing, improving, making plays in periods. Developing over time, talking about the steady progress, the new offense, new confidence. But outside, what are we dealing with? Browns national ranks, their bottom tier, 34th. TV debate clips, not ready for the NFL, huge question mark. Draft narratives carried into the offseason. How can you have a draft narrative of 5th round when you'd already been, that's 2 years ago. Reach, overhyped, system quarterback, another project quarterback. Social media hot takes, he's not an NFL talent, bust alert, worst quarterback in the draft. He won't even be on the roster. Don't worry, I'm getting at something. We're going to bring it home for you fellas. Is this football or storytelling? The point isn't that insiders are always right. It's that their perspective deserves to be weighed alongside analysis, especially before meaningful games are played. If you wanted to know how your rookie quarterback was progressing, would you trust the offensive coordinator, general manager, teammates, training camp observations, and development over time? Or the storyline from guys who give hot takes, debates, national ranking lists that they drop with no news, no insight, draft narratives, and social media hot takes? What would you do? What would you trust more? Well, I know what I would do, but don't take my word for it. In this video, this is an eloquent breakdown of how crazy the Truman Show is and why it closely mirrors what we are dealing with in football today. Buckle up, boys and girls. This is what you came for.
We've been actually, so before anybody gets comfortable that this is just fiction, we've been actually building Sea Haven in the open for 30 years and calling it programming. Cops, this reality TV show about cops, turned all of these guys' badges into a TV season with a theme song. The Bachelor turned Real Human Love into some tournament bracket. We watched real wars, like the initial Iraq War, through a correspondence video camera until the dying in combat started looking like TV coverage. Nobody had to build a dome over any of us. We lined up. We auditioned for this. There's a detail from the movie I think that a lot of people don't even notice. Truman was the first baby legally adopted by a corporation. It's said in the movie. They picked him out of 6 unwanted pregnancies because he was born on cue. His first win in the ratings was showing up on schedule. A company owned a human being from its first breath. It broadcast the birth live, and the world's response was to subscribe. Nobody marched, nobody sued, no lawsuits. They tuned in. It's a corporation owning a baby, and the world just subscribed. So what is the whole thing for? What is The Truman Show for? The product placement in The Truman Show is a joke until it's not. Truman's wife would hold up some box of cocoa and read the label to a camera that he can't see. And the first time it's kind of funny. You know, we laugh at it. And the second time we notice what we're looking at, that his life is for sale.
You can already start to see the parallels. At first, the trolling is funny. At first, oh man, that's kind of funny. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But then you start to notice that the takes that people have are so comical that you know that they are just throwing it out here because it's all a charade. And at first, it's, well, that's just good content. But after you are immersed in it, after you finally wake up and see it for what it is, it makes you upset. Because this actor is showing you this, they're painting this project, painting this narrative, painting all of these scenarios because it sells. Because we want people to be enraged. The inform is gone. It's the entertain. Keep it up. We just getting to it. Lock in.
The marriage is fake. The fear is basically just inventory. And the coffee is just inventory. Even the audience crying about him is inventory. They cry during the show and they buy the products during the commercial breaks. The comfort here is the bait. There's one incredible, incisive line here from the man who runs this entire show, and his name's Christoph, which is a play on the word Christ, or on the name Christ. We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented.
It's as simple as that.
He thinks he's describing his prisoner, Truman. He's describing the audience. So think about the rectangle that you grabbed this morning before your eyes were all the way open. A war, a recipe, a dead kid, a workout, some skincare ad, someone crying in a parked car, 90 seconds, all of it. And we call that staying informed. That is weather.
We're going to be accessing the...
That's crazy. That's crazy. Tap in, understand. We accept the world we are given. I was wondering why I was feeling kind of out of place, because sometimes you stop accepting the world that you're given. Because what you start to do is you start to piece it together just like Truman did. It started to be too cartoonish. It started to be too over the top. It started to be like, hold on. What do you still keep talking about narratives and 5th round quarterbacks, and it's the reason why traffic tickets work. Because you can sit here and sell somebody the controversy, but you know it don't work. showing an interview about what Todd Monken actually says about the offense. The ship has sailed, boys and girls. We say that we want. What happened to all the great sitcoms? What happened to all of the great shows that we used to watch back in the day? What happened to TGI Fridays? What happened to good series and content? You know what happened to it? It's called the internet. It's called reality TV. You know what we like more than laughing and poking fun at people that are actors in fictitious places? We like laughing, poking fun, and judging people in their real life. How much of an endorphin hit is that? Hey man, I think triggering people on Twitter is much more enthusiastically done and get you more of a high than talking about fictional characters.
Weather program.
That is the manufactured emotional weather that you saw in the Truman Show. And it never has to sell you one big ass lie. It feeds you these small little pellets. There's an outrage pellet. Here's a fear pellet. Here's belonging and enemy. So 200 small instructions about what to feel before you even get to lunch. And people still believe that their thoughts are theirs. So Sea Haven is the clean version of all this. There's no infinite scrolling. There's no comment section full of idiots. It's the same machine with better landscaping. So every fabricated world has a maker. And a long time before Hollywood put him in a control room, people gave him a name. But let's start with a kid here. Before any of this, Truman, what did he want to be? He wants to be Magellan. He wanted to go to Fiji, the one place on the map that nobody colored in for him, the unexplored place. He's a grown man and he's still climbing the rocks at the edge of town to stare at the horizon.
See, this is devastating right here. Because when we talk about control, it's one thing. Have you noticed that this is the way we have positioned athletes? These are grown men trying to seek and to define their own destiny. But Big Brother done set them in a place where they done put strategic people in place to put an invisible force field on their entire destiny. You say that's a reach, G. Bush. What you talking about? How is it a reach? I'm dropping jewels. How's that a reach? In the movie, Truman wants to just go to Fiji. But every time he tries to get on a boat and go somewhere, something happened. Boat don't work. Every time he tried to go to the airport shut down. Every time he tried, they're systematically making sure that he doesn't get to where he needs to go. And it's not about a specific destination. It's about his hopes, dreams, his aspirations. Notice, anytime somebody says, I have a higher purpose, anytime somebody said, this is what I want to do, I want to help people, I got a vision for myself, I want to be somebody, I want to go do something. I got a strong compass about how I see life and what I want for myself. And as soon as you say it, the first people show up to stop you. And they don't even know why. He's too proud. He's too arrogant. He's too cocky. It's for your own best good. Don't tell people. Hey, Coach Prime, just don't show it. Hey, Dabo Swinney can come to practice. But you don't say that you can come to practice because it just doesn't look good. The optics. No, that's the gatekeepers. See, the people that's holding you back is sitting right on that mountain with you, telling you, yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it with you. But you know what? Don't worry about it. Maybe it ain't all it's cracked up to be. And you know how I know it's true? Because they do it to everybody. The same questions Baker Mayfield got is the same questions Shedeur Sanders got. Y'all ain't hearing me cooking yet. Maybe I know it might go over heads. Let's keep talking about it. This ain't for everybody. 1565, it ain't for nobody. It is what it is.
So hold on to that for a second. The restlessness that Truman feels throughout his life, is the most important thing in the entire film. It's the one thing that 30 years of behavioral engineering never killed off. The man who built the world around that kid lives in the moon, literally. Christof. He talks about Truman like a proud father. He remembers his first steps. He gets teary-eyed about seeing Truman on live TV. And then there's a part in the movie where he says the quiet part out loud. When Truman's about to escape, he says the words, "There's no more truth out there than there is in the world I created for him." It's the oldest lie in existence.
Tap in. There is no more truth out there than the world that I created. If the coach tells you a player is doing well, you create a world in which that never happened and that your truth is just as valid as what he said. This is the dangerous part. This is where we are. When you produce a world, then give it to somebody and say and justify that it's just as factual as reality, that's when G. Bush has a problem. I got to go. It gets deeper.
And it's delivered into a microphone like some dumbass weather report. Because here is where this stops being a movie and becomes something that people died over. There was an ancient religion called the Gnostics, which just means knowledge. The eventual church spent real effort stamping out and killing and murdering. But they had a name for this figure exactly like Christof, and it was called the Demiurge, which just means false creator. He builds a lower world and mistakes the edge of his set, his little property, for the edge of everything. And inside that world, trapped in that world, is a spark, what they say. It's a piece of something real that was never supposed to be inside of the cage. That's the kid who wanted to go to Fiji. So you don't get out of the cage by believing the right thing or through some gnosis, which is direct to knowing. And no one's going to argue you awake. And in The Truman Show, Sylvia is the call. She's the one who breaks character to tell the sleeper, Truman, that the world is fake. She gets dragged off the beach mid-sentence, and for the rest of the film, she's out there wearing a pin that says one big ass thing on it, and it's a huge line in the movie. How's it going to end? It's the only honest question that anyone in the movie asks. Notice how Truman wakes up. How does he go through his awakening process?
Listen, the reason I'm doing this video is because I wasn't just talking about you, the audience. This is an analysis of me. This is an analysis of Garrett Bush, the football player turned media member. Everything that was happening for so many years, I didn't see it. The world around me, I didn't see it. The sports talk that I got into it, I was blind to the set, the actors, the narratives, the storylines. But one day it hits you and it says, how is this going to end? And you start to slowly but surely test your theories and look around. And all of a sudden, the worldview that you once had starts to fall apart, one charade at a time. Watch the awakening. And this is actually how I started to wake up and realize, oh my gosh, this is all one big game.
No one's handing him a pamphlet. No one's getting him into a new religion or anything like that. Nobody argues him into it. It's contact. An elevator opens on some backstage area that can't possibly exist in his reality. Rain falls on him, only him, this tiny little circle of rain that follows him down the beach when he moves. His car radio skips to a frequency where the voice is narrating his own turns with his car back to him in real life. And then, it's my favorite thing he does in the entire film. He runs an experiment. He sits in the car with his wife and predicts every single car's movement on the street. The lady on the bike, the man with the flowers, the Volkswagen with the dented fender. They come around the corner in that exact order. They're on a loop.
Boy, tap in. I told you listen, I told you I don't tell you nothing for fake. I don't tell you nothing. Everything I'm saying has a place. Remember what I said to y'all. What he's talking about is the barbershop. This is the Truman experiment. He goes in and says, okay, if I believe that this is narrative based, I should be able to accurately predict half the stories and narratives and lies that are going to happen, right? It started years ago, starting with Dylan Gabriel's a supercomputer. Absolutely not. I've already seen him play. Turned out he wasn't. Kenny Pickett is really good at football. No, he's not. He wasn't good coming out. Turns out, not really. Shedeur Sanders was a 5th-round pick. Then he threw for 365. Second most of any rookie in his 3rd game. That doesn't mean you're garbage. It's like you're looking at it. And every rebuttal you give them, it's like Truman finding out, walking in and seeing a bunch of people in the back of a set. Then the rain cloud follows him down the street like, bro, this is crazy. Then the Ty Simpson stuff. Oh, they're taking Ty Simpson. Deshaun Watson is injured. No, he's not. He's going to give him the job right now. Just give it to him right now. The barbershop tested every theory. And let me ask you a question. They kept getting crazier and crazier, and I kept debunking them. Now, guess what? How is it that we sit here today and my record is what the record is? Because I knew for a fact it's a game. Just like Truman found out.
He says he didn't believe his way out. He checked his way out. And that's a huge difference here. So going quickly back to the Gnostics, here's what those old sects understood that we forgot completely. A prison does not need walls, but it does need guards.
A prison does not need walls, but it needs guards. And that is the traditional media. They don't put you in a box figuratively, specifically. They don't put you in a room, turn the lights off and tell you and pump propaganda to you 24 hours a day and put you in a jail. No. The walls are mental. The walls are figurative. And they do need guards. And they are the gatekeepers. So when people say, why is it that these guys are so hell-bent on making it certain ways and they can't go to nothing else, is because they've already accepted their role in life. They've accepted the fact that they are gatekeepers and guards. The only devastating part about it, at least in the Truman Show, they was paid actors. You do it unwittingly. You just fall right in line and do it and don't even profit off of it. Let's keep cooking.
And the best guards on earth have no idea that they are guarding anything. Just watch the kitchen in the Truman Show. Truman starts coming apart at the counter. His whole life is like splitting open, and he's trying to say something out loud. Something is wrong. People are lying to me. I can't trust all these people. And his wife turns around, smiles at no one standing there in the room, picks up this box of cocoa, and starts repeating the label at the camera and the sales pitch. For half a second, it's funny, and then it's disgusting and sick. Because he sees it. He sees the seam just kind of tearing down the middle of his own marriage. She's not talking to him. She's talking to the thing behind the wall. And the thing behind the wall has been there the whole entire time. And the question that opens up in his body is the one the entire operation can't survive. How long? And
Whew. It's like when you tell somebody, I saw every single game. I saw throws. I saw production. And they tell you, no, smile in your face. He's the worst quarterback we've ever seen. At first you argue with him, and then you realize that they're not talking to you. They're out here talking to they don't even know that they're their security guards. The most dangerous guards, the most great people, the guards that's the best one to keep people locked in is the ones that don't even know they've been compromised. Yep, keep repeating the same narrative, right? And then you go back like G. Bush did, and I go back through and I thumb through. I said, so when did, now I'm confused. So when did this happen? I got to look through the Rolodex. I got to look, okay, was it when I started interning? Was it like this when I fell in love with sports? What did it change in the early 2010s? I got to go back and do my research because right now I'm confused. Has it always been like this? And here's the scary part.
this question that he's asking himself, it doesn't stay in the present moment. It runs backward. Every dinner he had, these anniversaries, every time she told him, he was imagining things. Every time she made his fear sound like wisdom, and all of his dreams sounded like a weird phase that he was going through. All of that just resorted at once in a kitchen over a box of cocoa. Everything got back to its right place. So look at her face while this is happening in the movie. The fear is absolutely real. She's an actress, but the fear isn't acting at all. She's a person nailed inside this role that just stopped protecting her. Because the man that she's paid to manage, not marry, is finally looking at her like a piece of evidence.
Woo! Nah, run it back. Run it back. I don't run it back again. Hold on. Bring it back. Bring it back. Y'all catch this. Y'all catch what I'm saying? Come on now.
Fear sound like wisdom, and all of his dreams sounded like a weird phase that he was going through. All of that just resorted at once in a kitchen over a box of cocoa. Everything got back to its right place. So look at her face while this is happening in the movie. The fear is absolutely real. She's an actress, but the fear isn't acting at all. She's a person nailed inside this role that just stopped protecting her. Because the man that she's paid to manage, not marry, is finally looking at her like a piece of evidence.
The role that you're trapped in just stopped protecting you. That's the commentary on the internet. The role you were insulated in. You say, dang, G. Bush, you was really going off in the beginning. What did that have to, well, it all ties in. See, when you get into the industry, you at one point in time became the authority. How do you, if you wrote an article in an editorial page, how do people disagree with that? There's no comment sections. There's no forums at the time. You write what you write, and it becomes gospel because people assume you got there for a reason. You earned your way there for a reason, and your opinion carries weight because of the perception of the authority figure that you are. Watch this. The fear in her eyes was the fact that her role and her cover was blown. You no longer can write and do whatever you want to say and just keep repeating the same narratives. Because now the accountability factor is it's real time. Before you say something, you go on to the next topic. No one knows how to get at you and talk. Now you say something, the accountability is instantaneous. There's comments, it's emails, it's text, it's Twitter, it's Instagram, instantaneously. And Truman is looking at her like, oh, we know you're compromised. We understand fully what you've been doing. And I know that you guys have been playing games for decades. That's where the fear comes in. It's the accountability, and the cover is blown.
And back to the Gnostics really quick. They called this layer the Archons. These are the enforcers who keep the sleeper asleep. So in the Truman Show, they don't wear a bunch of armor and stuff like that. They wear cardigans and wedding rings and a 6-pack of beer and blue jeans. If you have a prison that's guarded by a bunch of monsters, you get a riot at the end of the day.
If you got a prison guarded by a bunch of monsters, you're going to have a riot at the end of the day. But you know what they do? They disguise it as the American way. It's tough to be mad at somebody who wears cardigans and has the white picket fence and the golden retrievers, and they go to the golf clubs. They do a lot of networking. They look a certain way. They talk a certain way. The language is coded a certain way. It's kind of difficult to understand that they gatekeepers a little bit. It's kind of tough for you. But in the Truman Show, they do a great job of it. They don't make it some outside force. Ask yourself this. I always talk about people like this. In America, we do a lot of extra over-the-top stuff. Everybody says that some of the stuff that America is built on, in terms of minority, in terms of women, in terms of our past in history, we ain't proud of it. But let me ask you a question. If today the United States was overrun or pulled up and they said, you know what, China looked at China or Russia or whatever country you want to say. Those are two rivals at the time. They said, you know what? We want to invade America. Let's invade America. I don't care what kind of strife in history we got in this country. Black folks ain't going to sit down and let China come take over. I don't care what we had to go through. At that point, it's a common denominator. Yeah, we've been through some stuff, but we're not about to just let you come over here and just take over the country. Like, don't get that twisted. Like, you see what I'm saying? So that's the thought process. But when it's your own people, when it's people that look like you, talk like you, dress like you, it lulls you to sleep. And you can wage war way easier than some adversary coming across the water.
If you have a prison guarded by people who love you, you get a ton of confusion. And confusion will always buy you one thing, and that's time. So here's the only line in the entire movie separating that movie from your street where you live. In Sea Haven, the guards get a paycheck. Every neighbor, every barista, every smiling extra person walking down the street in the morning, they clock into work. They perform the town. Then they go home and they cash the check. Out here, nobody's getting paid to enforce this stuff. We perform the town for free. We learned this script so frickin' young that we think it's who we are. We say stuff like, fine, how are you? And we answer that to a question that no one asks sincerely. 10 times a day. And we went one step further than Sea Haven ever did. Truman's 5,000 cameras were hidden from him. Ours, we carry around. We bring them. We point them at ourselves. We do the product reads into the camera for free, just hoping some audience shows up. And Christoph needed this $1 billion dome to get one dude to live on camera. We volunteered for it. And we brought our own camera equipment. Why does the evidence not wake anybody up? Why doesn't the Coco ads, the lawnmower ads, the weird rain, the looping vehicles on the street, the backstage door toward the end of the movie, it doesn't wake anybody up? In the late 1950s, this psychologist named Leon Festinger got himself somehow inside of a doomsday group that really believed this giant flood was coming on a very specific date. So they had the complete date, time, everything this was gonna happen. The flood never came. And you'd bet that would end it. And for a couple of people it did. But the most famous finding of the study is the opposite of this. Most of the cult members didn't fold over. They doubled down. They went out recruiting harder than before the prophecy had failed. The belief ate the disproof and got stronger. So that's
the disbelief. What did you just say? Say it again, please.
down. They went out recruiting harder than before the prophecy had failed. The belief ate the disproof and got stronger. So that's the law running under this entire film. The more you've paid for a belief, the more being proven wrong can cement it even further. And evidence doesn't walk into an empty room. It walks into a room already full of your identity, your friends, your marriage, 30 years of the sunk cost fallacy, and the mind defends the furniture that it's been protecting its whole life instead of the truth itself. So this is why the line in the movie, when they say, Truman, everybody would have to be in on it.
For all you Shedeur Sanders fans, y'all want y'all answer? I'm giving it to you. I'm gonna drop it back to you. I'm gonna give it back to you. One of the biggest question marks that everybody had about the draft and 5th round pick. This is it. I've searched for this answer. I've looked for this answer. How does a person that starts at a top and they're like, oh, he's going to be a 2nd overall pick, get dropped to the end, almost to the draft, right? This is it. Y'all ready? This is the part. Bring it back so he can hear everything. Here you go.
Ate the disproof and got stronger. So that's the law running under this entire film. The more you've paid for a belief, the more being proven wrong can cement it even further. And evidence doesn't walk into an empty room. It walks into a room already full of your identity, your friends, your marriage, 30 years of the sunk cost fallacy, and the mind defends the furniture that it's been protecting its whole life instead of the truth itself. So this is why the line in the movie, when they say, Truman, everybody would have to be in on it, is the most lethal sentence in the entire movie when the best friend says it. And it doesn't beat Truman's evidence. Truman has a ton of evidence. But what it does psychologically, it makes the evidence cost too much to pick up and re-examine.
It makes give it to him again.
But what it does psychologically, it makes the evidence cost too much to pick up and re-examine.
It makes the evidence cost too much to pick up and re-examine. A lot of what I do on the barbershop is do these videos to get you to think, to get you to explore different ideas that that most people wouldn't talk about. And the truth behind this is so succinct, because when you are trying to consistently paint your arguments and paint your narratives and debunk narratives and give information and give receipts every single week, the more and more you give, the more and more dug in people become. And it becomes more difficult for you to even argue with people about it because the burden to prove is now on your plate. It's the reason why I always tell people all the time, G. Bush, why don't you go on these platforms and go argue with people? Because that's called making the burden of proof way too heavy to lift in that time frame. You got to be smart and strategic. So when I lift my receipts now, I got some help with me. I got an audio visual with me. I got time to flesh out my arguments. I got the chat to give me some reinforcement. I got some stimuli coming that I can stop and rewind and slow it down and bring it back. I could put an analogy together like that. I could give you a whole narrative that you could start from the beginning of the show and work all the way to the end of the show and understand exactly what I'm talking about. And without having that leeway and ability and the freedom to do it, it wouldn't hit. Just like Truman. We talk about Truman. The Truman Show has showed us an example of the way people view, think, act, and are shaped by narrative, rhetoric, communication, propaganda. As we started off this show, and we've looked at this, we found that it's a situation where, I mean, we are dealing with something that has been prevalent for a very long time. But what you also have to remember is that if you are going to be a person or an individual who does this content and talks about this content, you're going to need to understand where all of the hidden moves are. And the chess moves are there. They're there for you to see. They've been doing a good job of making sure that you don't get to see them. But the problem is, that's what the barbershop is here for. That's what you're here for. Here's what I hope Browns fans take away from today's show. You don't have to agree with Andrew Berry. You don't have to agree with Todd Monken. You don't have to agree with Jimmy Haslam. And you certainly don't have to agree with me. But don't let someone else do the thinking for you. Listen to the coaches, listen to the players, watch practice, watch the preseason games, compare what people would say with what actually happens on the field. Because football, guys, is complicated. Development isn't always linear. Sometimes a player exceeds expectations. Sometimes he falls short. That's the reason the season is played, not predicted. The goal isn't to defend a narrative. The goal is to follow the evidence where it leads you. If we can do that, we'll become smarter football fans, and we'll spend a lot less time trapped inside someone else's own version of the story. And that, boys and girls, is how we move in the barbershop. Let's get to the super chats. I want to talk to y'all really quickly, by the way. Let's get to what y'all talking about. ChatGPT over the last 3 years, what team has been blitzed the most? The answer may shock you on why we have the bad quarterback, but it also why we are so bad at picking up the blitz. I also checked out something too. Another thing that we consistently go over is this narrative that we have. It permeates everything. When people say the Browns can't win a certain amount of games, I ran this on Final Cut. Plenty of NFL coaches have done it in their first season as head coach. Every time I go into a show, every single time that I go into a show, I'm bombarded with the same talking point with no audio visuals, with no research, with no data. And I find it so funny that the people that love data can't even explain the data good. If I ask somebody what EPA is, they say it's a bunch of things. Once again, that's why I continue to tell you, show your work. If I give you a statistic, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to show you exactly what it is, where it lands, and how it is. And I'm going to give you examples of it. See, but the thing they want to tell you, another perception and narrative is G. Bush is charismatic. G. Bush is, he just, people, they watch him because he evokes emotion. He's a good talker. I mean, he has the gift of the gab, but I'm just saying he's delusional and doesn't really, he's not a stats guy. You can't tell him, listen, I used to work in finance. I graduated from the College of Business. What do you mean I don't know no numbers? You want to talk numbers? I got numbers all day. If you think the Browns can't get 3 wins, I gave you how many coaches? Tony Sparano, Chuck Pagano, Sean McVay, Matt Nagy, Matt LaFleur, Sean Payton, Mike Smith. Hey, Kevin Stefanski even in his first year got 3 more wins, right? Actually, the Browns were 6-10 when he took over in 2020. Kevin Stefanski went 11-5. Kevin O'Connell, Brian Dable, Nick Sirianni, Chip Kelly, Jim Harbaugh, John Fox. These are just to name a few. So when people consistently give you this stuff and act like it's never been done, of course, I'm going to debunk it. By the way, why does this happen? It happens this way because of what? What we try to teach over at the barbershop is that it's a team game. It's not a specific quarterback. I get my quarterback, the quarterback in 27. You think a rookie quarterback in 27 is going to change? No. And you know that. But what they're telling you is I would be comfortable. And this is just be cool with you. My job would be more comfortable if I had somebody else I could cover. And I just don't feel like covering this person. But when it comes to winning, why do these teams play better? Well, they have better play calling, stronger one game, fewer turnovers, team depth, better coaching, health and injury luck. But we done boiled it down to let's start every show talking about the quarterback. So much so that you don't talk about nobody else. I'm just trying to show your work. I'm looking forward to it. Somebody let me know where my work wasn't shown. I got time. Selmo Fudd. Monken got Watson and Shador ready to cook. Dog pound. Big dog, I appreciate you. Mr. Booker 12 became a member. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Don't forget, if you are a new member and you have not received your shirt, new members get a t-shirt. You're working hard over here. Fifth Dimension Media 1@gmail.com. Fifth Dimension Media 1@gmail.com. Send us your address. Send us your contact information and what size shirt you wear. We get that thing out to you in the mail. Let's keep cooking. Selmo Fudd, shout out to Cleveland's own Bone Thugs and Harmony for getting the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, big dog. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. I'll just say this. Shout out to Bone Thugs and Harmony on that Walk of Fame. As you know, I've done some things with the R&B Awards. We may be in works to try to get them on the show. I'll just say that. We're trying to get them on the show. We'll say that. But we appreciate it. Shout out to them. Mookie Z says, Browns are winning 13 games this year. Never been done in history. It's all perfect timing. Wrist up. You know what it is, man. You already see what it is. Selmo Fudd, I believe in Todd. We'll give both quarterbacks a nod. He seems like seems them cooking every night and day. They got the plays to blow these teams away. I believe they will soar. You know what's so crazy is, when we talking about the situation with, in general, is that there is so much meat on the bones in terms of what people can be talking about. There's so many different good storylines. Just, you got good young players. This is the most I've seen people working out. This is the most I see. I'm seeing Quinshon Judkins looking to get back on that football field. I'm seeing Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion. I'm seeing Deshaun Watson out there working. I'm seeing Shedeur Sanders working. I'm seeing all of these guys. I'm seeing Jared Verse out here working. And that's what you want to see. Man, and let me just tell y'all something, man. I feel like, let me give y'all some game right here. 1,604, hit that like button, bro. Hype the video. You may not like G. Bush, or you might not even agree on the quarterback. But there's one thing that you can't say. I give you so many different layers of Cleveland Browns and Cleveland sports content that is, it's undeniable. When I wake up in the morning, my thing is I'm thinking about a way to tell the most creative story and to give you the most information about a team that you guys say you want to watch and players who you are invested in, players who you want to see be good. My question to everybody else in the industry, even if you don't agree with me, is why would you not want somebody who is invested in your team, your community, that live there, that cover the team for multiple platforms? Why would you not want that person to be talking? My thing is crazy. Why would you, if Shedeur Sanders is going to be up for the starting quarterback role, what sense does it make when people say you keep doing Shedeur videos? Why? Because he's the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns? This stuff don't make no sense. It's almost like there's a group of people that they say they Browns fans, but then be like, why are you talking about this? Aren't you a Browns fan? And for the people that I keep getting, and for the industry as a whole, we get paid. We get paid well, by the way, to deliver information about these teams. And the only reason we get paid to do that is because there's an interest by the people. So why would you have a demeanor or disposition that says, I'm tired of talking about it. I don't want to talk about the quarterback. I think they're going to be terrible. I don't want to talk about this. Let's talk about Josh Allen. Let's talk about every other quarterback. How does that equate? Even if you don't agree with G. Bush, I'm going to give you the information on the team that you say you root for. Make it make sense. The only reason we are here today is to talk about what the people want. So when did you decide that you just were going to talk about what you wanted? I'm confused. Gregory Campbell, what Bullen said about Earl straight disrespect, he needs to be fraud checked because he wouldn't dare say that ish to a grown man's face. I think Earl handled it. Listen, I think Earl handled himself. He didn't even say nothing crazy on the show. He just said, listen. But here's the way I go about it. I can only speak for myself. I can only speak for myself. What I stand on is this. Am I a Browns fan? Sure. Am I a diehard Browns fan? Yeah, I only got 4 teams. Guardians, Cavs, Ohio Bobcats, Cleveland Browns, and Cam McKinley. That's it. I don't got no other teams. I watch teams and I get enjoy my watching games. Like I watch Ohio. People say, you're not a Buckeyes fan? No, I watch Ohio State. But I root for my alma mater. Like I'm not, I could want to see Ohio State win, but I'm not going to cry if they, you know what I'm saying? But where I come off at is this. Let me just tell y'all something. My fandom ain't got nothing to do with my opinion. You know what my opinion is based on? Knowledge, work, watching film. You ain't watched the tape more than me. I done watched every single game 4 or 5 times from last year. Every snap. I go back and get archives. I watch a whole game from 1989. So my stuff that I'm basing my stuff on is conversations that I had with people in the industry. So my take and your take, you can have a take, that's great. But let's just be clear. My take is built on a foundation of I really do this. And even when I stop doing it, it's continuing education that goes into it. I don't even believe that players, yeah, if you're a player, you know what you was talking about in that time. But if you're a lawyer, don't you got to do continuing education? If you're a doctor, don't you got to consistently do some credit? If you're a financial advisor, don't you got to brush up? It's new techniques, it's new laws, it's new everything coming out every day. So just because you used to play football don't mean that you up on the same things that used to be. The game it evolves every 3 years. Tyvis even talked about it. He said, man, listen, I used to cover I was going against quarterbacks, and Cardell Jones told me in a 30-minute ride what quarterbacks do, and it blew my mind. And he played in the league. And he's reading quarterbacks' eyes, and he's trying to go against receivers and routes. So he knows what he's talking about when he's looking for certain things, but even he has to sit and be educated by people. When I talk to Bernie Kosar, I'm just sitting there listening. I might ask a question, he might go, he might just go and talk. That's why I can't take a lot of people seriously, bro. You got access to these people. I had an opportunity to sit and talk to Coach Prime and pick his brain off the record on just some football stuff. Man, bro, for a guy that for somebody who loves the game of football, I ain't about to be talking to no tabloids with you. I want to talk football. When you get a chance to get some of that knowledge and you post up and you hearing that, man, come on, man. Man, listen, boy, that's a treat. You're privileged to get that conversation and talk to somebody to see the game that way. You know what I'm saying? I've been in them huddles, high level. Maybe that's the difference between me and y'all, bro. I ain't trying to, man, come on now. Come on. Come on. Selmo Fudd, the Todd father, has a dynamic supporting cast with Rudy Schweitzer, Warhop, wide receiver coach Christian Jones, Big Dog. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you what. I love Warhop. By the way, the run game going to be innovative. A lot of people don't understand that too. Pass game get a lot of love. The run game to me is the innovation. The run game. Ms. Bell says, hearsay is secondhand info and run reliable. Jason is paid to report and stand on hearsay. As long as Jason exists, facts will be scarce in the media. You know what I'm saying? Look. That's why I don't move. Everybody got their own move. Everybody, how you do your job, get paid. Do your job. And by the way, I'm not knocking nobody's opinion. Everybody got their opinion. You can have one. Don't mean to equal up to these facts though. Because where I came up, when we was debating, the debate team at McKinley, when I came up, you had to have a thesis, some supporting details, some documentation. That's why when I pull up, you can not like what I say, but the one thing that you can't never say, I don't care who you are, you can't never say that maybe you might not feel the premise, but when it comes to giving you supporting details as to why I believe certain things, there is nobody in the industry that puts more work in at doing that. Nobody. And I stand on that. And I don't, and you know what? If anybody else feels that way, They should feel like that way. When you talk about rapping, rappers supposed to feel they're the best rapper in the world. Basketball players at that time, when they got the ball in the fourth quarter, you're supposed to feel like you're the best player in the world. And I don't begrudge you for that because it's a competition. But for me and what I do, I know there's other people that do better things than me. I can't really do no play-by-play. Some people is great play-by-play. Some people is great on panels where you just, they think of certain different things. But I understand what my skill set is. And what my skill set is, if you give me 2 hours and some time to cultivate a topic, I'm gonna give you something thought-provoking, man. And we're gonna do that at a high level. So I can only tell you, and I put the work in. But listen, no disrespect. Everybody talk your stuff. Miss Bell G, at 50, I looked at junk food and gained 5 pounds a year. Hey, it'd be like that too. I used to walk around and be able to eat anything. Your metabolism just get to moving around after a certain point in time, right? It don't hit the same way. Ms. Bell said, nephew working hard out in Vegas heat is insane. That's desert dry heat. You get heat stroke without knowing. I was yelling at the screen, go inside. Yeah, listen, my mom was saying the same thing. It was crazy. She was saying, but listen, this is why people always talk about it, man. I went out there to run. It was about a week ago. I went out there to run, just to see. Because sometimes you got to remind yourself. That's the maniacal nature you got to have. Because I wanted to feel what they feel. Sometimes I want to feel the heat, like, ooh, this is crazy. So when I get ready to say somebody is trash or garbage or ain't going to get it done, I got to rethink it because everybody out there is working right now. Working right now. And I love it. I love the fact that my young dudes is out there working. Because I'm going to tell you what. It's a lot of young dudes that have reached out. Shout out to the youngins. It's a lot of people that have reached out, say, yo, bro, I appreciate you. I appreciate you speaking on us. You showing us love. You motivating us. You putting on for us. You out here, showing love, getting us ready to go, telling the fans what we trying to do, letting the fans know what we trying to do, letting the fans know that, hey, we going to be exciting to watch. We just trying to get the city behind us. And I think it's so crazy. I think it's so crazy that how is that it's a lot of goofy type stuff. Like, come on, bro. How is that whack? How is that something you trying to get the city around the team? Come on, man. Like, how is that a negative? You're being a fan. What? These comments be crazy. I'm like, man, what are you supposed to do? That's your job. Your job is to get people excited about your team. Woo. Zilla Muscle. Gee, I see you putting that work in just like I saw you in the gym. Keep getting that money. You can't pretend when it comes to this. Hey, listen. You know what it is. Shout out to you, my guy. I'll be out here. Keep getting it. We be out here. Just for everybody that's watching. Everybody that's out there doing their thing. Anybody tell you what you can't do. I tell you what you can't do. I'm sitting up here right now. I always remember, talk to your people. Whoever ain't messing with you, they don't mess with you. But talk to your people. It can get done. It can get done. We on a Saturday. They told me when I was coming up, you're a weekend host. Weekend host. I don't care what nobody say. The barbershop changed weekends. That's radio. Change weekend. We changed the way we do stuff. Shout out to Auntie Faye. We the only, Before we was doing that, let me tell you how the industry worked. The industry don't never want you collaborating. It's crazy. Why I always used to say, that's why I say stay independent. Because the game right now is almost like the music industry. These guys got to clear samples. Guys from different stations can't do podcasts with one another. I said, how that work? It's like saying, nah, we ain't gonna clear that mixtape. Nah, T.I., you can't do nothing with Wayne. What? Yeah, we ain't clearing it. That's why you don't see people collaborating. That's why you don't see crossovers, because they got these archaic contracts saying you can't do this and you can't. Nah, I'll stay independent. I stay independent. I'm good over here. You can't tell me who I could do a show with. How you gonna tell me that? This ain't 1942. Like, what do you mean? I can't have a conversation on the internet with a person and talk about sports and people come up and stop. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's why the industry don't grow. That's why it gets stagnant. So what I do is, now I'm going to show y'all can get it. I'm going to show y'all that you show each other love. I'm going to show you that you can bring somebody on your channel and we ain't got to have no Twitter beefs. You name me one person that have been in this industry, that have been talking about the same stuff I'm talking about, whether it's independent, whether it's whatever. You ain't never seen me, oh, this so-and-so over there, they getting views now. So now let me say something slick about so-and-so with the views. Nah, bro. We don't even play like that. We don't even do no goofy stuff like that. We link up, by the way, Duke the Scoop interview coming up Tuesday. Make sure y'all tap in. I told y'all, bro, you let me know what it is and we doing it. Shout out to Auntie Faye. They loved the joint. They loved the commentary. If you haven't gone and see that, make sure you check it out on the channel. But we got Duke the Soup coming up on Tuesday. Tap in. We changing the game, bro. Don't let them people tell you that you can't collaborate and you can't bring nobody. Oh, they got too many viewers. Man, you can't. Nah, bro, we don't do that. We ain't on that. The real guy, the real Night King, G Bush. I'm starting a podcast. I just need to see if we can talk or chat. It won't pick your brain. We got no vids yet, but be sideline smoke unfiltered. But the podcast called 2-in-1 Podcast. Hit me up on the what's the name? Hit me up on hit me on the email. fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. Sansi 631 says, 2 and hashtag new Cleveland fan from Malaysia. See what I'm saying? Bro, we man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Listen. All the way in another part of your world. That just goes to show you, man. When we come do these shows, bro, we supposed to be out here. We supposed to be out here delivering that content. I'm just happy to be able to be part of what you watching all the way in Malaysia and Southeast Asia. Right? You know, you don't get your content. You can't get the local stuff there. I get it. Sometimes you are a conduit and a messenger for people that you don't even know. And I take an honor and pride in that. So when I come on and I get to what I'm getting to, I got to make sure everybody get their money worth, bro. When people pull up, they ain't trying to hear no old G Bush stuff. They want new schemes, new metaphors, new punchlines, new flows. They want new hooks. They ain't trying to every week. I got a show coming on tomorrow. Make sure y'all check it out. Well, let me show you. Make sure y'all pull up because this different too. Mom, back up. Let's go. Yeah, you see what it is. We back at it. Show your work. Top 5 is tomorrow, 2 p.m. 5 that got to deliver. We got 5. We got 5 people we talking to tomorrow. Pull up and see who we talking to. They got to deliver. Because I'm going to tell you what, training camp this year is going to be the most pivotal training camp that we've had just thus far. I was just talking about this on Ultimate Browns. We was on Ultimate Browns, and I was talking about it with Zach Jackson on UCSS. I said, we was talking about the schedule, and there's a 6-day window where the Cleveland Browns is going to be doing 6 straight practices. And we also talked about it. It's a little fishy. They playing the Bears, and usually they schedule these scrimmages back and forth. For some reason, the Bears and the Browns ain't even getting that off. We'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow too. So there's some little nuggets that I got about why I think this training camp is going to be pivotal, but it's a 6-day stretch where they're going to be playing every day. And this training camp is going to be the most grueling training camp. I'm telling you right now. I've been talking to some folks, and they about to get it in. Make sure you check out Top 5 tomorrow. Myself, my brother Bryson and Trent, my mom and my dad. We give you football family conversation. And by the way, don't let me find out that my mom got better taste than you in football. Don't let me see it. Shout out to my mom. Make sure you check out 2 p.m. tomorrow. Let's keep it pushing. We ain't stopping. Can't stop, won't stop. Patrick Williams, Anthony Lima thinks he's being funny, but all it's doing is showing how corny and a schmuck he is. Hey, listen, man. There's a place for everybody. Lima is a self-identified. He's one of the biggest trolls of all time. He'll tell you that. Problem is this. We to the point where football season coming. It's time for y'all. It's time. Hey, all the funny and joke, haha. That's about to end. It's July 11th. Got about 2 more weeks of laughing, and then we locked in. 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. You might get it off. You know I'm gonna be gone. I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm going on vacation to New York. You know, what's her name? Rosie wanted to go to New York. You know, she said in the Philippines. She thought New York was just the she was like, the representation of America is New York. So if you thought you was going to America, they picture New York. So she wanted to go. She getting her bucket list. Shout out to everybody that checked out the short. I surprised her. She had never been to a concert before. And she went to we went to the Chris Brown Usher concert. It was amazing. So we did a party bus. We drove around. It was really cool. So yeah, she was excited about that. So Rosie getting her bucket list item off right now. She got the Chris Brown concert, and we'll reward her for her hard work. We'll take her to New York on vacation. So we'll be shooting some food blogs there too. Y'all let me know if you got some New York folks where I should be going, or y'all want me to shoot these food blogs, because that's a big part of it too. I gotta get that. So G Bush, I'm on vacation this week. I'll be calling 92.3 The Fan. I hope this don't get banned, because this got to end. Brody's bottom line. Hey, man, don't worry about it, Brody. Enjoy that vacation. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Don't let him, because here's the thing. It's already switching up. Watch. Everybody done switched up already. You notice it ain't been too much slander out there. Because the realization of, guess what? That money, listen, bro, once it sunk in, oh, ain't no quarterbacks coming. Oh, yeah, Todd Monken is still here. They're going to actually let Deshaun Watson compete. Then it's time to turn the page and start getting to it. You got to start covering the game. Tabloid season over. T-Storm, I knew Cleveland was diabolical, but now I simply have words. Hating on the hard work is beyond confusing at this point. You're just getting another job because you obviously don't like this one. I just don't. I don't know, man. I mean, there's certain things that I like I said, as I get older, I'm never going, like, people out here, people work hard for what they want in life. And people work hard, period. I just have a hard time like, what, I'm supposed to downplay people working hard? Like, I just don't understand the rhetoric. I don't get it, man. It's okay. It's fine. It's content for everybody. But as far as my mind focus and how I'm moving, you know, I see my conversation is different. As sometimes you have to elevate yourself from. I just, maybe it's just me. I just don't have the stomach for mid. I just don't have the stomach for mid surface level conversations, man. It just don't do nothing for my soul, bro. It just don't edify me. It just, G. Bush, show your work is a bad thing in old Cleveland media, I guess. I would love the both of my quarterbacks putting in that work. Old media just sick. Why don't you, Philip? Like Philip Evans. Thank you so much for the Super. I don't get it, Philip. What? You can't have it both ways. We just heard people say, don't know, he don't watch film. They ain't putting the work in. Don't work that hard. Now you're working hard and you seeing it. And it's, you just trying, see, this is why the Truman Show analogy works. Because they're building this false narrative and reality where everything is the opposite. It's like, come on, man. Like, this is crazy. David Walker, morning G, show your work means you have the ability to confirm or prove the information that you're giving to the masses. That's the way that your words go from being an opinion to an interpretation. Hashtag credibility. You know, I wouldn't even come up over here at this point. I wouldn't even come up over here and try to pass something off. Because y'all would call me on it. Dang, G. Bush. Can you imagine if I just start coming up here just talking with nothing else? Y'all be like, man, I don't know, G. Bush, man. He kind of, I don't know, bro. He kind of fell off. Y'all cats would not even, and rightfully so. Rightfully so, you would get me up out of here. EFO 575. When Shedeur got to Colorado, some people had their concerns, but when he showed what he could do in 2023 spring game, the whole Boulder got on board. Cleveland negativity is puzzling. I will tell you this. Thank you so much for the chat and being a member for 6 months. Let me just tell you something. I'm just let y'all know something right now. When they are good and when you start to see that work pay off, it won't matter when they switch up. The world is going to be on it. The same way I was on Sports for CLE yesterday. He said, who do you think the leader is? Myles Garrett in here. Who do you think the leaders is? I said, man, listen, well, you could say Carson Schlesinger. He's a defensive leader. I like what Jared Verse was doing in terms of his leadership and coming to Cleveland and just being a veteran off bat. But let me just tell you something right now. The leader is, if Shedeur Sanders comes out here and does what he needs to do in that football season, and he solidifies himself as the starting quarterback, it's a no-brainer. He's the leader of the team. I said he's the de facto leader right now. People don't get that. What? Why do you think they try to downplay division wins? I predicted that too, didn't I? Didn't I say that? Go back and watch the Truman Show. Truman just started pointing. Hold on, let me go ahead and just start predicting this stuff, because now I know it's a charade. Remember what I told them? I said, Shedeur, if you want to really make them super mad, go ahead and win these last 2 games. And lo and behold, what did he do? He went out and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Bengals. And the very next day, every one of the media members that I rub shoulders with looked like they got their chocolate cake for their birthday fell in the mud. Look, what's going on, fellas? Y'all ain't happy that we won these games? You got dudes cracked. We just missed out on Mendoza and Moore. And charades. I told him that back then. If you really want to make them big mad, Shedeur, go ahead and win these games. And go back and look at the timeline. Every single person mad. Now, they'll debunk. I said, what they're going to say is, them games don't even count. Didn't we hear it? Didn't we hear that? See, I'm just saying. I'm just talking. Dog 9 says Shedeur fans got caught slipping leading up to the draft, and they got number 144 on us. Never again, G. Bush. Stay in their helmets. Keep calling out the BS. Yeah, nah. Yeah, we done. I mean, and these theories is, they can't argue with this. They can't argue with this. And this is just the off season. Bro, it's July. We tooled up already. When you talk about this, let me just show y'all. Hold on, let me show y'all. When I get back from vacation and we start going to these training camps, and then we start cooking up, getting ready for these preseason games, I'm going to tell you this right now. Y'all better be ready to go, because we're not going to play with them at all. We start. Get in right now. Starting in August, we will be doing our all 22 film review. You say, but G. Bush, the season didn't start yet. Don't worry about that. We're going to be giving you backstory. We're going to get into looking what guys was doing last year. We'll get into what Jared Verse was doing. We'll get into, me and Tyvus will break down, and we'll get into and show you to get you kind of excited about what we're doing. We usually start during the season. We starting it early in August. That's another show ready for you. If you want to become a member, what do you give you to be a member? Well, you see it. We give you priority screen time. Your comments play all throughout the show. You get to have the members only, all 22. You get the members only contact. You hear it first. All my members, they got the Auntie Faye unedited. You get the big snacks unedited. You hear it first. Members only. We put out the condensed version for people, so that we give you that. You're going to get a barbershop free t-shirt, whatever membership. You know how we give up quality. We give out giveaways. We do those things. Behind the scenes access. We gave you behind the scenes access to the studio as we built it. Behind the scenes access to the red carpet on the Emmys. Behind the scenes access when we go on shopping blogs, hauls, vacations. We give you all that. So make sure you guys is checking that out. Scan the QR code on the right-hand side to become a member and exclusively unlock these benefits. But if you just want to wait and see, hey, it's all love. Scan the other QR code and it's free, and we still continue to give you the best content in the game. Final Cut, Wednesdays at 6, Top 5, Sundays at 2. Still give you the barbershop on Saturday. Still continue to give you interviews. You know what we do. Hit that QR code, hit the like button, hype, and subscribe. It's free. It's free. Let's keep it pushing, man. Let's keep it going. See, man, let me see this. Hold on. Let's keep it pushing. Let's talk about this. Let me see. Give me 1 minute. All right, here we go. Let me plug my headphones back. All right, let's go. Let's get back to it. Training in 107 prep for week 1. 2 is taking quarterback 1. Shabby Mojo 125. We appreciate you. They ain't playing. He not playing around right now. He out here cooking. Literally. Neil Gray, Todd, with 30 years of NFL and college experience, is being criticized for too old, but they wanted unproven rookie assistants to be as the Browns coach. I'm glad you brought that up. Let me see where we at. I'm glad you brought that up. Let me see. Where we at with this? Nah. Nope. Hold on. See, I got this too. I showed you when we talk about the resume, right? Let's show you the resume. So show you the resume. Where am I at with this? Here we go. They act like this man ain't never did nothing. College football at Oklahoma State 2011 and 2012. Number 2 offense in 2011. Number 3 offense in America in 2012. Brandon Wheaton became the first-round pick. Justin Blackman, Biletnikoff winner. Was in part of the air raid. Became the nation's best passing offenses. When he was at Southern Miss, he inherited an 0-12 football team. Within 3 seasons, they were 9-5, one of the biggest turnarounds in school history, while dramatically improving the offense. 2020, 2022, record at Georgia, 37-3, back-to-back national championship. His offense in 2022 averaged 41 points a game, 500 yards rushing and passing combined. Top 5 offense nationally. All he did is develop players. Stetson Bennett, league. Brock Bowers, league. George Pickens, league. James Cook, Ladd McConkey, A.D. Mitchell, Broderick Jones, Amarius Mims, all guys, big-time players. But yet and still, we still talk about like this man don't got no resume. Again, why are we not specifically talking about this when we talk about offense? When somebody wants to talk to us and say, oh, well, I don't know what they're going to do. What is Todd Monken was already here. He was already here. Let's talk about what he did in the pros. He was already in Cleveland. What are you talking about, guys? Nick Chubb finished second in the NFL with 1,494 yards. Baker threw for 3,827 yards. Jarvis Landry and Odell got 100 yards apiece, 1,000 yards apiece. 1,000 apiece. Why are we acting like he don't have no sort of track record? I'm confused by it. Actually, I'm not confused by it. I need to stop saying I'm confused by it. I know exactly why. Let's continue on. David Walker, today, G is not G. Bush. He is Morpheus offering old Cleveland the blue pill, but most will accept the red pill and stay plugged into the system. You're right. Actually, if you go a little bit deeper into the Matrix lore, which I'm super into the Matrix lore, is the fact that Zion had been destroyed 7 times before. Actually, Zion was actually another level of control by the machines. They knew exactly where Zion was at. As a matter of fact, they become increasingly efficient at destroying it. It was another fake world to give you the illusion of free will. The same thing we do here. It's the illusion of the quarterback battle. It's never to get the quarterback. It's about perpetual talk of the quarterback. Just the same way that the machines and the humans, they were never going to coincide together, ending the war. The war is the cash cow. The never-ending war and the journey to find a quarterback is what we do. The illusion of finding your quarterback. I thought the quarterback was in 26. 27. I thought they was getting rid of all quarterbacks in the room. I don't see it. Mookie Z just threw my glasses due to the tenderism. Dog 9, the belief ate the disproof and got stronger. Mind blown. That was wild, wasn't it? The belief ate the disproof and got stronger. You didn't believe Shedeur Sanders is garbage for so long, and your worldview has been built around that. Even when you are given record-breaking feats in his third Like people say, G. Bush, you say you don't like stats. Let me ask you, where are all of the people with the EPA and where is the breakdown? I'm just not asking. Let me ask you. I'm literally asking a question. When you guys see people talk about EPA or talk about the worst quarterback per drop, all this other stuff, where are the graphics? Where are the visuals? Where is the concise nature into which you could actually just print it out and talk to it? Every time I see somebody try to talk and explain it, they jumble their words, they fumble the bag, you don't know what you're talking about, they bring up some vague concept and terms, and then if you're going to have a talking point, at least flesh it out. I'm just asking, you tell me, am I wrong? Can somebody say, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like somebody has really explained that and broke that down. The EPA worst quarterback joint. And 2, if you feel a bunch of people is just talking and taking, and it's half-baked. 1, if you think somebody was cooking with it. 2, if you just think it's been half-baked. Because I just, let me get to it, because I just ain't seen not one person. And because when I got to come on here and do something, I got to have all kind of stuff, right? I got that. Look, we got 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. I mean, it's just jumbled EPA. It's like everything combined, and it like takes everything into consideration. It's like the encompassing end all. Where is your graphics? If you don't got a podcast, put it on Twitter. Because I just never see it. We can never seem to get nobody to quite understand it or wrap their head around. I just don't get where I'm trying to figure it out with the EPA and the word. When they say he's the worst quarterback, I'm just looking for it. We got 1. Hey, ATL Big Wall, I need to know who it is. You point me in a direction so I can do my studying on him too. We might have to get him on the show, whoever he is. I don't even know what they talking about. I just need to. It be blanket statements, big facts, super facts. I just need to know. Because when I jump on here and I say, oh, the Browns can't win no 3 more games, here's why. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Here's my historical data. I give you the coach, the year, the previous year, the year they played, and the jump. That's what I prefer to do. You see what I'm saying? That's how I prefer to layer my stuff up. I'm just confused. I'm confused. When I say how you can go about winning and how you can get better, these are the type of things that I bring up. Games are 1 up front. How you think the Browns can get better? Teams allowing 2 sacks or fewer equals 72% of the playoff teams. Each sack costs your offense 1.8 expected points. And when I say something, I like to give you why I actually think that. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just letting people know. I just want y'all to get. I got 1 more. We give you 1 more. We give you 1 more. We be cooking. What's this, huh? Oh, we can't even put that one up here. Let me just remove this one. Let's remove this one. I want to show you this one. Because at this point, you got to show them. You got to show folks sometimes. Which one is this? Let me see if I can find it. I'll probably find it somewhere. Here we go. We're going to show you something. How's this? Here we go. Move this. Yeah. There we go. We just cooking. Here we go. I'll be telling people all the time. It's the perception. People talk about he didn't want to, he told Coach Prime messed him up. Coach Prime messed him up. The only person to ever tell somebody that they weren't going to play for a team was Eli Manning. Eli Manning revealed that the Chargers were going to trade him to the Browns on draft night, but he said his agent Tom Condon denied and pushed for the Giants. I find it funny that a bunch of stuff happened with the Giants in terms of, the Giants said that Shedeur and Coach Prime, they were forcing their hand and they were overplaying their hand. But I find it funny that the only person that ever has overplayed a hand or done anything like that was Eli Manning and the Giants. Manning reiterated that he didn't want to play for the Chargers, who selected him with the first pick in 2004. Manning was eventually traded to New York, but could have had a completely different career had he ended up in Cleveland. I'm just giving you, giving you a little heads up. Let's continue. I don't want to do too much. I don't want to keep you too long. Let's see where we at. Got my shirt, absolute fire. Also love Truman Show. Shedeur Truman sailing towards the starting role in the media is the weather trying to stop him. Boy, they had that weather machine moving. Them producers were like, keep him off that boat. King Aaron says, Mama and Papa Bush, Miss Rosie, cover G. Bush with prayer. Thank you for the prayers. These wishes ain't gonna be like being exposed. The Village of Life got G. Bush covered by the Almighty. Listen. Amen. The Lord, listen, here's two things I do. I stay out the way and I stay prayed up. And the Lord gonna guide what you do. That's all I need. Reverend B.J. Nelson, this is not for long. It's going to be to go into a full liar mode, trying to say that they knew Shedeur was him all the time, but we will call. That's it. Reverend B.J. Nelson, that's it. You starting to already kind of see it. You kind of already, this is why I believe in the receipts being so crazy. Let me show you the receipts. Colin Cowherd already starting to move that way. That's why I keep him on me.
There's no way in the world I'm letting Deshaun Watson come back and play. And part of the reason I like Shedeur Sanders, his personality, he's fun, he's chill. It's not a Super Bowl team anyway. I think he is the first influencer quarterback where it's a little less about wins and more about who you are and how you connect. I don't buy that he's a fifth-round quarterback. I still will argue he was underdrafted. At worst, he was a late second-rounder. I think his mobility is good enough. Everybody said, well, he got his mom's DNA, not Deion's. Well, nobody's ever gotten Deion's cornerback skill set. Okay, he was 101, but he's athletic enough. I think he's a playmaker. He's got a good deep ball. I think he's fun. And the thing is, Cleveland's not playing for the Super Bowl. And so when I read that he shattered Tom Brady's record on this stuff, it's the classic blind spot for those of us who care about winning. And I see this in a lot of sport. The NBA has always had players who aren't really winning players. I could name 15 off the top of my head, but they're wildly popular. They sell shoes. That is where Shedeur is a little like an NBA player. He's an influencer. And he's representing a new group of fans out there. And I am for that because I think I'm in sports.
It had already started. That's why y'all can't mess with G. Bush. Don't mess with me. Stop playing with me. I got too much time on my hands. They say, how you don't just have that on deck? How you got that on deck? You got too much time on your hands, G. Bush. Stop playing around with me. It had already started. That shift, where you at, Reverend BJ Nelson? That shift, let's talk about it. That shift that you talking about, it's already happening. Remember what I said earlier? See, everything I say has a track record. Everything I say, it's linear. I don't say it for no reason. We told you how it was going to work. We told you they was going to amp Deshaun Watson up. We told you that there was going to be a narrative that he was so far ahead. Then we told you that, guess what? That gap is closed. And we told you if it's close, you already know what it is. And the closer we get to training camp, the more reality sets in. The only reason that they talking that talk right now is because they know ain't no other options. So now reality is sitting like, this might actually happen. Time to hedge that bet. But we already got you ready. Alexander Gallant, George Seifert won the Super Bowl in his first season as an NFL coach. San Francisco 49ers, y'all remember that? It was cooking. Is that the year that they destroyed the Broncos? They destroyed the Broncos when he was like, they put 50 on them or something. Brody's bottom line, G. Bush, you know my G, Dennis Cash. We used to hoop back in the day. Yeah, that's my, yeah. Shout out to Dennis Cash, man. Shout out to my guy, man. Vanjie says, scales are being removed from eyes. Gatekeepers exposed. Mirrors are being held up. Excellent presentation, G. See, this is what I'm saying. Don't thank you. If there's one thing that I take pride on, it's this. If one person comes away saying, wow, I didn't think he's going to be able to weave that together, it was worth it. The time, energy, and effort that it takes to even come up with a narrative and do these things, if one person finds it really to be good work, that's what I do it for. That's why I keep saying, sometimes you can do your best work and nobody's watching, but you got to keep evolving, keep bringing it. And I appreciate you, everybody who's checking out. Like I said, there's 1,500 people in here and it's the middle of July. Ain't nothing going on. Ain't no sports happening. People on vacation. That's a testament to the way you guys consume the content. And to be honest with you, that's a blessing. I'm blessed to have that many people that are staying here that long to listen to this content. And as long as you keep listening, I'm gonna put the much energy as I can and effort into creating this content. Lawrence RB, I already see the pleas coming. Wanting to make sure 2 earned it. Oh, wait, I was just trolling. We never let it go. It's okay to critique, but to troll hard work, Rosenberg, see what they do to for views. Hey, I can't troll no hard work, bro. Because I used to think, to me, guys like the Big Sports Group, BSK, I used to listen to him on the radio, and he was one of the first black dudes I heard that was, telling stories like that. And me and my dad used to listen in the radio all the time, growing up in Canton, BSK, Big Sports Kahuna. And I got an opportunity to work with him early in my career. And the thing for me is, I always felt that he never even got his just desserts. He came around in a time where there wasn't no views. And it wasn't, it wasn't this like a level of exposure. And for me, because he influenced me so much and gave me actually an opportunity and really just put me on game, and like it really helped me mold my craft. Like I feel like I'm carrying his legacy and keeping his name alive in these streets. And so for me, I understand the work that he put in being a trailblazer in this game. So I'm never going to mock nobody's hard work. What are you talking about, bro? People, people's family members done worked in steel mills. My grandfather used to share crop. Like, I don't know. I just can't. It don't sit right with me, bro. Like, the only place you like your hard work. Look, my wife worked in the fields. See, it's different. Like, where I come from and what my life looked like is different from yours. My wife lived in a place with no electricity, no running water, and had to work in the fields. Crops. The only way they was eating. So when you talk about hard work and people laughing and joking and like, bro, I don't got certain people and certain groups of people don't have time or the luxury to troll or clown. We just don't got it. I don't have the luxury of doing that, because the luxury was I was interning when I was in my 30s, 28, 29, driving, putting putting platforms up at 5 a.m. I don't have the time to troll or clown, because the hard work actually means something. It's what I'm still sitting and living in today. And guess what? It ain't even that hard, because it's 75 of y'all that work midnight. I don't know. It's 15. I guarantee it's somebody who worked midnights. I guarantee it's somebody that's working a weekend shift right now. I guarantee somebody is doing construction, manual labor, steel, putting work in, trying to put food on the table. It's somebody out there that their kid need to go to a baseball camp or a football camp or wear some cleats, and the only way they're going to get it is working that time and a half in this hot sun, cutting grass. I'm sorry, I can't do it. In my older age, I don't have no time for it. I just don't. I don't see eye to eye with the rhetoric. I don't see it, bro. At the end of the day, there's people out here that's busting their tail. There's people out here that ain't got no gas, $7 a gallon. We do too much clowning, bro. We don't even work that hard. It's somebody out there right now, single parents, still trying to get it together. School coming around. They don't even know how they're going to get no man, I'm sorry. Let me just keep going. I don't want to derail. Let me just keep going. G. Bush false narratives are exposed by knowledge. Alexander Gallant, you are correct. And that's why you got to keep educating. I'm celebrating and cheering for the Browns. Now, before they shock the NFL, the bandwagonists will be switching up when we start winning again. Oh, listen. Tell them to come on over here. I try to tell them. They got a couple of weeks left. You got 2 weeks left. Don't let that arc door close up on you. Don't let it close up on you. I know it don't look like it's raining now. You're like, it's hot as fish grease out here, G. Bush. I said, oh, a flood's coming. You got you a raft or a paddle? I would hate for you to get locked out of here. Nancy M, 745, nothing funny about Cleveland media anymore. Alvin House, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. We appreciate you. Always know, when you do become a member, go ahead. Fifth Dimension Media 1 at gmail.com. Fifth Dimension Media 1 at gmail.com. Let us know so we can get your shirt out to you. That goes for you, Renee. You've been down for a long time, so we appreciate you. And as always, Renee, appreciate you, G and Rosie. Lawrence RB, would you be okay if the Browns lose to the hey, if they lose, would you be okay if the Browns lose to the Falcons, but they are locked into a playoffs and go to the Super Bowl? Did you get my email? Does Gage make the squad? Gage actually might make the squad. I didn't check. I didn't see your email. But I did see your email where you talk about back and forth about battle rap. I did see that one. So, would you be yeah. I ain't narrow-minded. I ain't short-sighted. And y'all want, if we got a playoff, if we done locked up the playoffs, Kevin Stefanski can do whatever he want to. We in the playoffs. Are you kidding me? They get blown out. Matter of fact, if I knew it, I'd sit Shedeur. Hey, go ahead and sit down. Don't even do too much. Sit right on there. Browns playoffs? Can you imagine what them barbershop streams would be like when the Browns is rolling like that? Y'all might have me over here for 5 hours. But it'd be worth it though. Nancy says, know who else was happy? You won those last 2 games? Jimmy Haslam. There you go. The owner paying checks. Guys talking about that. This is why it's propaganda. How dare you sit up here and talk about it's about winning, and every time they lose, it's a dumpster fire. But then you got the nerve to sit up there and talk at the end of the year that you beat 2 rivals at the end of the year when we could have folded up like a Christmas tree or a cheap tent. We didn't have Juckins. We didn't have Fannin. We was out there and they had Joe Burrow. That's why, listen, you better stop telling me about. Don't you tell me about no Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow. What was their problem when they was losing the rookies? Mike Stephanie G. What I come to realize is that these people don't want to be wrong, and it's easier to say Shedeur is going to be a bad because most quarterbacks in the NFL are bad. No work involved. Show your work. I don't know if they're listening or watching. You can't show your work. You off enjoying yourself. Y'all, I don't know what you're doing today. It's a nice, beautiful day outside. I'm sure they're out there moving around, grilling, boating, chilling at the park, taking a nice little stroll. We in here working. My wife is sitting right here. She ain't going to the movies. She ain't get no date night off. Her date night is posted up in this comment section. You got to get you a real one, though. Got to get you a real one. Everybody ain't built for it like that. Everybody ain't built for it like that. You know what I'm saying? Know what you're signing up for. Lionel Bush, keep calling them out. What up, cousin? They starting to be careful with them words. Plus their ratings low. When you not on that panel. You know, shout out to the panel. Let me tell you what you know what I want to do? Shout out to my cousin Lionel, too. Shout out to my Uncle Michael. Got a birthday coming up. Shout out to him and my Aunt Beverly. They're going to be down. Me and Rosie going to pull up for their birthday. Shout out to them. They got a nice birthday party coming up. We going to, you know what I'm saying? We're going to pull up to that. So happy birthday. We'll throw that out there right now. But here's what I'm going to say. Here's how I go about my business. I take this seriously. You know what I take serious with my craft? I take pride in that every show that I come on, I don't care who it's with, I come on and I bring my energy. I come on, I'm professional. I come on and I'm gonna try to make that show the most entertaining show I can make it. It don't matter nothing. And when I come on the show, you ain't gonna see me like, oh, G Bush in his feelings about nothing. You ain't gonna know nothing happened at the house. You ain't gonna know nothing. If I'm sick that day, you ain't gonna know none of that. I'm gonna come on there with energy. I'm gonna come on there with knowledge. I'm gonna come on there and I'm gonna make it thought-provoking no matter where I'm at. So, no. People like, do you have animosity? What got animosity for? You serious? There's people with real jobs. This is play. This is fun. My job is to go in there and entertain every time. Every time. That's what my job is to do. That's how I get down. Gotham Medium Labs. Your stats are off the charts, G. We all know how this is going to end. Super Bowl, Shedeur's leading the team. Boy, Gotham Medium, but bro, if it leads to that, Let me tell you something. LeBron come back, and we got Shedeur Sanders. I asked the question too. I asked him a question. I like asking questions. That's how you got to do. I said, well, if Shedeur is all hype, if LeBron comes back, which is the biggest story? The Cavs starting the season or Shedeur Sanders and the Browns start cooking off this top? So what happens if, the season starts in October, right? What if Shedeur Sanders is 3-1? You know what they all had to say? Oh, that's a no-brainer. The story is Shedeur. Over LeBron? So you telling me you're readily admitting, oh, we're going to be talking LeBron. We're going to be talking. See, that's the crazy part about it. You got to ask him questions so that the mental gymnastics don't take place. If you got LeBron James, one of the most recognizable athletes of all time, coming back to Cleveland to play for the Cavaliers for a third time, and you tell me that a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, who you said was a 5th-round pick, wasn't no good, was all hype, you telling me him starting out 3-1 is the story of sports? Well, you just told me what you really think. You know what it is. You just don't like it. But you're going to have to get in line, because that's exactly what the right answer is. We about to be up. We going to be lit. Hey, if y'all want a YouTube channel, y'all might want to go ahead. It's a good time to be alive. Letting y'all know out there. Great time to do some content. Alexander Gallant, show your work. Shedeur was the first Browns quarterback since 95. Facts. Since Eric Zaire. Think about it. He followed that up, and in his third game, was that the third game? Was that game 3? When did the Tennessee game happen? Was the Tennessee game right after that one? Oh no. Let me see. I want to Browns 2025. Let me see. Okay, hold on. Here we go. So he came in against the Ravens week 11, right? Browns week 11. He comes in and they were 2-8. He comes in and beats the Raiders on the road 24-10. They lose to the 49ers at home 26-8. So in his third start, he throws for 365 in his third start. So he won his first game on the road, and then he throws for 365 to third. That's crazy. But in the Truman Show, none of that counts. KCM 5415 says the BS started when Shedeur won the NC game with no reps. That's when they knew he was him. So they had to actively sabotage him going forward. Media could barely say anything good about that. That was crazy. They couldn't say nothing. That's when it started to really look crazy. ATL Big Walk, I hit the wrong button a minute ago. My bad. Keep preaching. Big Walk was like, nah. Listen. Hey, no. You right. It was a 2. You put the 2 in there. All good, Big Walk, man. Appreciate you. Miss Squirm, thanks, G. Bush, for today's content. Y'all hit the like button. Thank you so much. Crow Dog, thank you so much. We appreciate your super chat. Staying so EPA, people ignored a head coach that wanted to be fired. That's crazy. It's crazy. By the way, too, we keep talking. They be forgetting that we was the worst of all time. Yeah, they was so bad that the dude that was ahead of the offense got fired. I'm just saying. Big Truck Driver. I love this show. I spent more money on super chats for this show than any other show on YouTube. I feel the product I get is worth every penny I spend. Big Truck Driver, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody who super chat, that watch, that like, that hype, that subscribe. Just look, listen, I appreciate you just tuning in. Yeah, everybody ain't got a super chat. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Like, trust me, you can just support the barbershop. Watch. Hit the like button. Share. That's all we need. That's all we want. So this like-minded content, it can get out to other people. I appreciate you. Mike Stephanie, by the way, G, you are looking super slim. The proof is in the results, and the results don't lie. Thank you so much. I appreciate, you know what I'm saying? I went back to we went back to, you know, I just had my checkup, and it's possible. I used to take muscle relaxers for the nerves in my neck. I used to have a surgery called nerve ablation that burned the nerves in my neck because I used to have perpetual pain shooting down my spine. I haven't had that in 3 years. I used to be on high blood pressure medication. I'm off that. I used to be on high cholesterol medication. I'm off that. I used to have all kind of pills that I needed to take. There's a blog. I document everything. If you want to watch, it's a good documentary. It's called The American Dream. And it documents my early part in the industry, and it documents my start at 92.3 The Fan. There's a lot of people that don't even know, like I work at 92.3 The Fan. The Barbershop was a show, a radio show that we moved to the internet. So in that, you can see how many pills that I would take a day. And just by the journey of losing the weight, my joints feel better. My body feels better. I remember starting last summer and going to the hospital, and, you know, the doctor said you got a 10% chance of getting a heart attack by the time you 50. So God is good. We want to thank him for giving me the energy and effort. My wife has done a good job of just keeping me motivated and not making me all the great food that she knows how to make. She's a cook by trade. She went to culinary school, everything. When we got together, she used to just make me loaves of banana bread from scratch. I just had to tell her, hey, listen, sweetheart, I like you, but I can't eat your food. And for a Filipina, that was the most devastating thing to her. She was like, I really enjoy making you, like, I want to cook. If I can't cook for you, what am I doing? And I'm like, man, listen, I love it, but I can't eat your food. I gotta go on a diet. So it worked. It worked. So, but yeah, we appreciate you seeing that, and other people can do it too. GB, is Shedeur win the Super Bowl in the next 5 to 7 years, dude? Does he get a statue up? Probably. Yeah. You got to think about it. You win a Super Bowl. Ain't nobody even seen a Super Bowl. Nobody in the Browns fandom has ever even seen the jerseys in a Super Bowl. Man, it's going to be a party everywhere around the country, the world. Browns backers everywhere. Shout out to Browns backers in Hawaii, by the way. DK Skull, member of for 7 months. Thank you so much. G. Bush, thank you for delivering the cerebral side of sports as opposed to the TMC style bull junk many of your colleagues provide. There's a place, time and place for everything. But what I try to pride myself on is giving thought-provoking content, and maybe it'll have a ceiling. I've always told myself, maybe it ain't, you know, places like this and platforms, I always dreamed that I'm like, man, maybe one day I'll get 100,000 subscribers, or, you know, at the time, maybe I'll get 20,000, and then I realized that it wasn't about how many subscribers you got, it's the impact. Give me 40,000 real ones. Give me 50,000 solid ones that stand on something over 100,000 extra. Nah, I don't need that. I want the real ones. So, you know, I appreciate the comment, and I appreciate that's what I strive to do is come up with great content. ATL Big Walt, actually been a member for a month. Thank you so much, Big Walt. Did you get your shirt? hit us up, 50missionmedia1@gmail.com. Hit us up. Make sure we get them shirts out to you now. And Mike Stephanie, I saw a documentary, American Dream. Excellent watch. Thank you, Mike, for checking that out. You guys can check that out as well, man. I want to thank you guys, man. It's not often that you can sit and talk with folks for this long period of time, and it seemed like an enjoyable conversation. I appreciate what you guys bring to the table, your enthusiasm, your thought-provoking comments, and just your support. So we want to thank you guys, and we appreciate you. With that being said, you never know, we might show up radio, television, internet, but if you want a fresh cut on sports, I keep the sharpest